you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
And 10.
What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey now!
What's going on, all you scallywags, nutmeggers, all across the fruited plain? It's time for Reese on the Radio, right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. If you're going to the Facebook page, you got to go to the other one, or otherwise you got to catch me everywhere else. Or just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's where you got to go if you want to watch the show, if you can. I'm trying to figure it out. I told you guys a long time ago, I am nowhere near technologically advanced in any way, okay? I just learned how to get the VCR off 12 o'clock. We don't even use the VCR. I got plenty of news and plenty of views for you. Let me just give you a heads up. If you're joining us now, the program will switch over to the Odyssey app. And so if you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. And if you don't download it now, you go to WTIC.com. We got plenty of stuff to get into today. I don't want you to miss any of it. But I will give you a rundown. We've got to talk about a new documentary coming out on October 3rd. It is called An Inconvenient Study. We will play that trailer during the opening monologue in the first hour of this program. We'll also play some testimony that took place yesterday. You've probably seen it online. One particular person is Aaron Siri, who is an attorney for victims of the medical practice all across the country. Vaccine, the CDC, this guy has sued everyone. And his testimony was key to what happened yesterday and what they have revealed about vaccines as it relates to autism will blow your mind. If you didn't witness it, you will hear that. And if you are watching online, you will see that testimony today. Also, there was another revelation about a story we reported right here on WTIC during the news about a measles outbreak. You remember it earlier in the year in Texas. Well, it turns out that Aaron Suri is an attorney for one of the families of a child who died. What news report said was related to measles and the child being unvaccinated. Well, he has some very interesting information about that. Again, he represents one of the families of one of the children that died. And it blows up this whole narrative about the kid being unvaccinated. We are also going to talk about Marcus J. Zervos, who is of the Henry Ford Health Organization, how he got involved with this whole study that blows this story out of the water. about vaccines being safe and effective. We also have to ask this question, and this question is important. Is Chris Murphy telling his constituents, his followers, and Democrats to break the law and harm people physically? Again, is Christoph Murphy, Senator of Connecticut, telling people, his constituents, his followers, Democrats, is he telling them to break the law and harm people? The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because you remember when it was suggested by the news media that when Donald Trump used the term, there will be a bloodbath, that Donald Trump was calling for political violence. You all remember it. Liberals, conservatives, in the middle alike. You know it. That was the conversation. So I have to ask, what does Chris Murphy mean when he says, fight fire with fire? We will play that audio for you today. And the news media, by the way, you should all be asking the question. This is not me. I am not pulling my back, trying to reach here. I will play you the audio, and you've all seen it. You all heard it. You know you did. Because I can estimate from what he says to Chuck Todd that he wants people breaking the law and committing violent acts by his own rhetoric. We also have to talk a little more about Jeffrey Epstein. And there is an article out that came out a day or two ago about how J.P. Morgan enabled crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how no one's talking about Barack Obama. There have been some smatterings here and there about Bill Clinton, but Barack Obama, not mentioned in any of this. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about how the narrative has now changed in the Jeffrey Epstein conversation and now been focused on getting Donald Trump to stop calling it a hoax instead of whether or not Donald Trump has done anything wrong. We'll also talk about why everyone is so captured with Donald Trump's signature. And then when you ask if it is his signature, what does it mean? Now, I want you to think about that. If indeed this birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump did sign, what does it mean? If you are scrambling, trying to figure out what an answer is, that's all you need to know. If you ask someone, what does it mean if Donald Trump wrote it? Okay, he wrote it. This means what? And they go, well, you have them. We'll explain that as well. We'll also talk about the primaries that took place yesterday. Do they mean anything? Should we care? We'll talk about that as well. But now let's get to it. So this Aaron Siri guy, who had to face off against the likes of Dick Blumenthal, who, when he is back up against it, when he has been sort of hoisted by his own ridiculousness, he always nervously laughs. And I'd like to show you a little bit of that in this testimony yesterday. This was the Senate Homeland hearing on public trust in vaccines. Here is Dick Blumenthal, knowing that this man has sued health practitioners, the CDC, health professionals, doctors. This guy has depositioned them, hundreds of them, if not thousands of depositions. This man knows his stuff because he has to rely on evidence because he's suing. Dick Blumenthal wants to go the amateur route of, but you're not a physician, right? You're not a doctor.
We've been talking about medical issues. You're not a medical doctor, are you?
No, sir.
And you're not an immunologist or biologist or
I bet you can say the word, Dick.
any kind of...
Or vaccinologist. No, but I depose them regularly, including the world's leading ones with regards to vaccines, and I have to make my claims based on actual evidence when I go to court with regards to vaccines. I don't get to rely on titles.
Okay. But you're not a doctor.
No, I prefer not to be a doctor because I prefer to rely on the evidence, not slogans like we've been hearing.
So to have to go through that with the coy and condescension of a guy like Dick Blumenthal, I'm glad, he could have gone deep. I could have said, I haven't been to Vietnam either. I could have done that, but he didn't. But he was a serious guy there. So before we get into further, I want to play this documentary trailer for you. Again, it's called An Inconvenient Study. And it has to give you sort of a background on this, if you don't know about it, they went to find a doctor who would fight them on immunizations, on vaccines. A doctor who would honestly fight hard to protect vaccines and the use of them in children, but had him do the independent study. Do the study, but we need you on the side of protecting vaccines and vaccinations. And this doctor, by the name of Marcus J. Zervos of Henry Ford Health, did the study. He was there to debunk any rumors, any innuendo that vaccines were not safe. And he released the study to them, but he would not publish them. Here's that trailer, An Inconvenient Study, coming out on October 3rd.
Impact of childhood vaccination on short and long-term chronic health outcomes in children, a birth cohort study. I've never seen this study before.
18,468 subjects.
Henry Ford, like other institutions, has a bias towards the goodness of vaccines. If the results came back demonstrating that the battery of vaccines was associated with chronic diseases, such a result would be particularly convincing. This could be essentially one of the most valuable studies in the field.
The vaccinated subjects were over 4 times more likely to have an asthma diagnosis.
600% more acute and chronic ear infections.
4.47 times the amount of speech disorders in the vaccinated compared to the unvaccinated.
5.5 times risk.
616% increase. Learning issues, developmental delays, speech delays, language delays.
Amongst the unvaccinated group, there were 0.
There was 0 brain dysfunction, 0 diabetes, 0 behavioral problems, 0 learning disabilities, 0 intellectual disabilities, 0 tics, and 0 other psychological disabilities. None.
It's a big difference.
It's very important this study sees the light of day.
This is devastating.
This paper should have been rushed to publication on an emergency basis.
We are systematically making kids sick, and not just a little bit sick, very sick.
This may be the most important study that has ever been done, and it needs to be published.
He knows if he puts his name on this, his career is over.
I mean, obviously, really emotional.
Zervo's probably going to lose his job over this.
This is an inconvenient study for the entire...
Let me be as clear as I can be. We are now witnessing a full-blown war on science, on public health, and on truth itself. That is what we are confronting right now. At this unprecedented moment in American history, it is important to share the facts as clearly as we can. So I will take this opportunity to make a very simple point. Can't be simpler. Vaccines work, period.
I wonder if they work as good as socialism there does, Bernie. So this hearing yesterday is about, and most of the people who were there in that documentary, a lot of them showed up at this hearing yesterday. This, of course, was the Senate Homeland hearing on public trust in vaccines. And this guy, Aaron Suri, his testimony was very, very key in a lot of these cases because, again, what he needed was evidence for the families he's representing who are accusing places like the CDC and other hospitals of injecting their children with poison.
It showed the results of the analysis comparing children enrolled in Henry Ford from 2000 to 2016 from birth onward who had no vaccines compared to those who had one or more vaccines. The study was based on actual medical records, meaning finally a large vaccinated versus unvaccinated study using health data from a major United States health institution, something, as the IOM pointed out, never existed before. The study began by explaining it set out to reduce vaccine hesitancy by assuring parents the CDC vaccine schedule is safe. Instead, what these researchers found was that vaccinated children had 4.29 times the rate of asthma, 3.03 times the rate of atopic disease, 5.96 times the rate of autoimmune disease, and 5.53 times the rate of neurodevelopmental disorders, which included 3.28 times the rate of developmental delay and 4.47 times the rate of speech disorder. All of these findings were statistically significant.
He went on.
There was also other conditions for which there were numerous cases in the vaccinated group, but zero in the unvaccinated group. Hence, a rate could not be calculated, including brain dysfunction, ADHD, learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities, and tics. For example, there were 262 cases of ADHD in the vaccinated group, and there were none in the unvaccinated group. In this study, there were around 16,000 kids in the vaccinated group, by the way, and around 2,000 in the unvaccinated group. So the rate, of course, between those is important, and that's what the study compared. These findings were troubling, including because these chronic health issues can be caused by immune system dysregulation, and vaccines can cause immune system dysregulation. Citations for this are in my written submission. Overall, the study found that after 10 years, 17% of the unvaccinated children had a chronic health issue, while 57% of the vaccinated children had at least one chronic health issue, often multiple. That's 17 versus 57%. The only real problem with this study and why it didn't get submitted for publication is that its findings did not fit the belief and the policy that vaccines are safe. Had it found vaccinated children were healthier, it no doubt would have been published immediately. But because it found the opposite, it was shoved in a drawer.
So with all of these people running around like Bernie Sanders, let me say unequivocally, not a doctor. With a bunch of people in white coats applauding like trained SEALs, have not whatsoever refuted what you just heard. Nowhere will you see it. Anywhere will you see a disclaimer that says those claims are false. Nowhere. It's been at least 24 hours. Nothing. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what Ari said about the Texas case. We'll also play that Texas news report as well. So stand by. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. As always, it's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Packaging doesn't mask symptoms. It neutralizes allergens. Whisker Block, our patent-pending technology, binds the allergens so your immune system doesn't overreact. Many users feel relief in days, with meaningful improvement about a week in when used consistently. Recommended by doctors and experts, and designed to be safe for pets and humans of all ages. Order Packaging.com. Again, Packaging.com. Packaging.com. Pacagen.com. Protection from allergens, not guesswork.
People who suffer from long-term chronic joint pain spend so much of their time acting, putting up a carefree front. It's exhausting.
I was really tired of trying to act like I wasn't in pain because I was in pain all the time.
Rick Rawlings didn't want everyone else to know that he was coping with agonizing shoulder pain 24/7.
Yes, I had to put on a face to cover up my pain.
But then Rick found QC Kinetics, offering new lasting treatments for joint pain using natural biologics. Treatments designed to restore and repair joint tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. The results were amazing.
I am very glad. It changed my life doing the QC Kinetics. Today, my shoulders feel wonderful. The cranky Rick is gone. He's not grouchy anymore.
No more acting. Feel like yourself again with a call to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Seems like back to school happens earlier each year.
First day of school coming in hot.
And this year, my kids had massive supply lists.
Folders, notebooks, and pens. Oh, the humanity.
But Staples had everything I needed, with some items just 25 cents.
Watch the small print.
No. My back to school budget was saved by Staples Easy Button.
Everything for school, in stock and as low as 25 cents. Staples.
That was easy.
In store, online, and on the app. Ends 9/13 while supplies last.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
And now, a WTIC news update.
2:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. Considerable cloudiness. Got some breaks of sun. Temperatures in the low 70s today. All the forecast details coming up. The first of two flood mitigation meetings is set for tonight in Waterbury. The Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments sponsoring the gathering at 6. Another meeting is set for tomorrow night in Oxford. Governor Lamont has announced executive action to ensure COVID-19 vaccine access. In light of action taken at the federal level, several state agencies, including DPH, Consumer Protection, and the Insurance Department, will be working in concert for that. Millions of dollars headed to cities and towns for local road projects. That announcement made at a Newington press conference today. All 169 cities and towns will share in about $80 million that officials say is the largest investment of its kind in over a decade. Multiple Russian drones crossed into Poland in what European officials describe as a deliberate provocation. That caused NATO to send fighter jets to shoot them down. A spokesman says it's the first time the alliance confronted a potential threat in its airspace. And the man who killed John Lennon outside the former Beatles' Manhattan apartment building in 1980 has been denied parole a 14th time. New York corrections officials posted the decision after Mark David Chapman's parole board appearance August 27th. WTIC News Time is 2:31. Here's Bob with the forecast.
Temperatures this afternoon, mostly about 65 to 70 degrees, and a mix of clouds and some sun. And there could be a scattered shower, but we should be mostly dry through the afternoon. Winds out of the north and northeast at about 10 to 15. Partly cloudy tonight, lows 48 to 55. Nice weather tomorrow, mostly sunny. The high approaching 80 degrees, but nice low humidity. Mostly clear Thursday night, lows mainly in the 50s. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds Friday with highs in the 70s. Saturday looks partly sunny, highs again in the 70s, and we'll keep temperatures in the 70s Sunday. By then, it's mostly cloudy. There could be a shower or two around. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's down 215 points. NASDAQ is down a point, and the S&P's up 14. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, this is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner from Money Wisdom. Tune in every week for insights on taxes, investments.
I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get. Could be lower testosterone. Lower T. Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me. I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real? Oh yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean. clean. And it's made a difference for you? Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom. Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves? Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy. Enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminar's Early Bird Special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Thursday, September 18th, Hilton Garden in Hartford North, Bradley International Airport in Windsor. Weight Loss Seminar 5:30. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, September 20th, Holiday Inn Express, Southington. Weight Loss Seminar 11 a.m. Stop Smoking Seminar 2 p.m. Register markpatrickseminars.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSim.com and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-64000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
This is the reason why I normally don't like to give the rundown. And that was originally what the show was supposed to be like. The opening of the show, you give the rundown of things that you want to talk about, and then everybody wants to talk about the stuff that you talked about in the rundown when it isn't appropriate. But that's okay. I'll play along. since we have to. Reese on the radio on WTIC. Welcome to the program. Numbers 860-522-WTIC. We are going to .com. That's WTIC.com. You can always find us at reasonoradio.com, of course, or you can download the Odyssey app because the Red Sox will be playing this afternoon, and we'll keep an eye, of course, on those scores as well. By the way, I didn't get a round of applause, and neither did Mark Christopher, but I'll give it to us now. Our Monday night pick came through. Not so much for Roland. Roland went with the Bears. He was probably feeling great in the first half of the game. Vikings looked like crap. This young kid, J.J. McCarthy, looked like he was going to blow it after the pick six, but he rallied his troops and ended up making it. I mean, you got to be happy about that, right? I mean, it was great.
No.
He's not even a rookie, but he looked pretty good. Yeah, that Caleb Williams kid, I don't know.
He's trash.
You think he's trash already?
I'm only saying that because I was in a heated battle in my pick'ems for first place for week one.
And he helped.
Which was
he didn't help at all. Yeah.
And all they had to do was win. That's all he had to do.
He didn't have to have any stats or anything. He just had to win that game.
They just had to win that game.
It looked like he could. I mean, I thought it
was. I was celebrating. I celebrated too early. That's what happened.
Yeah, it looked good at the end, like there was going to be a shot, but that defense picked up. It was again. Vikings looked like it was all but gone, and they turned it around. But now everybody is going around saying that the Ravens-Bills game was rigged, as was the Monday night game now because they're trying to keep everybody interested. I'm like, you really can't rig football like that.
Oh, you definitely can. You can rig any sport.
Yeah, I know you could, but really, like, you're going to sit up here and tell me that they're all in cahoots with each other?
I'm not gonna say the Bills Ravens game was rigged because Derrick Henry, he never fumbles. They're not gonna say, hey Derrick, I need you to fumble.
Yeah,
he's not gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna lie though. I will say this about Derrick Henry. When I watch him on the field, I kind of feel like he is an unfair advantage when everybody's playing. The man is so big. He is so colossal. It is like, and the way he runs, it's not that he's fast. He's just powerful. And he changed, there used to be a time.
He's fast.
He's fast in that sense. But you know what I mean? It's like, if he gets into the secondary, forget about it. That's when the speed comes in.
Yeah, it's too late.
He can go through a hole like nobody's business because he's so strong. He has changed that idea that you need a short sort of Derek Sproles, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, LaDainian Tomlinson. He's totally removed that element as a running back. Now the running back can actually stand up straight and just run through an O-line. It's just, he's changed that.
But come on, man. He's a once in a generational talent.
Yeah,
so it's not
absolutely.
Like they don't fall. They come that size, but they're not that effective.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not that fast. He got clocked at almost 22 miles an hour on that run for a touchdown. So it's like,
at least he has the speed. But I'm just saying that usually when they're looking for a running back with speed, it's usually the 5'7" guy. You know what I mean? He's the smallest guy.
Yeah.
He's usually built.
Because what is Barkley? He was like 5'9"?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like there's that stocky sort of look. And they all have that one fundamental look to them. If you look at any one of them, from Emmett to LaDainian to Sproles to, they all have that signature look. And then you see a guy like Derrick Henry and just go, that guy's not like the rest of those
He's
guys.
a linebacker.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he looks like. Anyway, so back to this thing. Donald Trump is given to irresponsible rhetoric. You're 100% right, AT. I'm going to bite. Yes, Donald Trump is given to irresponsible rhetoric. Yes. This means what? Because if you think it means what Black Lives Matter did today, then fine. I think you're in the right. Now, you may not know what Black Lives Matter posted today, but you should probably look it up. And Black Lives Matter, in response to the killing of this Ukrainian girl, posted a video of a black woman and a picture of the bus, of the light rail and the murder, and posted a black woman saying that black people have a right to commit violence. So since you want to talk about irresponsible rhetoric, what you are saying is that therefore it gives you license to be irresponsible with your rhetoric too. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, AT, that these are the behaviors of 5-year-olds. And if you've reduced yourself to that, just admit that. Just say, Donald Trump says mean things, so we can too. Go ahead. Tell me that. Tell me that you have lost all faculties. You've lost any ability to have a conversation like an adult because you see everything through the lens of Trump did it first. Because that's exactly where Chris Murphy went. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself on that topic, but again, it's not like I don't get it. You're not here every day, so I've got to go backwards in order for you to understand we've already gone through this. News reports months ago, I reported right here on this show, were actually promoting the idea that because of Trump, more people were joining the Church of Satan, as if to suggest it was a justifiable allegiance. You know, if it weren't for Trump, people wouldn't join the devil. South Park has now made it its mission to do episodes that Donald Trump is having a sexual relationship with Satan himself. And guess what? Hold on, it gets better. The New York Times, the Washington Post, and any other worthless rag out there is actually reporting on South Park episodes about said relationship. They've actually legitimized a cartoon that they used to dismiss when it went after things that they protected. Did the news media celebrate when South Park was doing episodes about transgenders going into women's sports? No, they did not. They weren't talking about how South Park had its finger on the pulse of the United States when it came to that issue. No. You could find no articles anywhere, but they do an article that has Donald Trump having a sexual affair with Satan, and ha, 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 everyone should watch this episode. So if you're trying to suggest to me that behaving like an infant should be taken seriously, just do that. You're not going to get me debating with you about, well, you should act more mature. No, no, no. No, no, no. Let the others do that. I want more. I want you twisting yourself into any position you can get into, you contortionist. I want to see you wiggle your way into all of that rhetoric and rationalize it. I need it. I need everybody to know exactly how ridiculous you are. And I want to see you sell that to other rational people, or bring out of the woodwork more and more idiots. Because that's what you'd have to be to think that that is a selling point. No one is that dumb. But if you think they are, keep writing that. Trump is given to irresponsible rhetoric. Let that be your excuse for your behavior. Should it be, should that be with everything? I hear that all the time. And again, it's actually progressed as I've gotten older. More and more people excuse really, really bad behavior because, you know what? Everybody does it. And I kept talking about this. I've been talking about this for over 22 years. I've been saying, keep saying it. After a while, anything is permissible. Why? Because everybody does it. Soon it's going to be, well, what are we getting upset about murder for? Everybody does it. That was how we got drugs legalized in this country. That's how we got this permissive behavior about marijuana and any other drug. Well, you're really not going to stop it. Same thing with teen pregnancy. Are you really going to stop kids from having sex? Which in essence is nothing more than just saying, I give up. It's too hard of a fight. I can't be a rational human being. I can't behave like an adult because Donald Trump doesn't let me. Donald Trump says bad and mean things, and I just can't take it anymore. And I need to say bad and mean things too. Come on. Just please. I mean, I would prefer, in all honesty, you shut up. With all due respect, I would just prefer you shut up instead of looking like fools. But you can't help yourself. Because here's the real truth. Here is the honest to God truth that none of you will admit. Deep down, you want to be bad. Deep down, you want to be evil. Deep down, you want to hurt others. That is your true nature. The only thing you were doing was looking for an excuse. And now you think you have one. You've got the big bad orange man. He's given us permission to break the rules, to harm others, to malign, and to attack our fellow man. It's his fault, not ours. We were just responding to him. To be honest, what you're really saying is that he had all the power in the first place. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll find out why my wife is screaming when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
I can't get the signal. Okay, seriously. Now there's absolutely no excuse not to listen to WTIC News Talk 1080. You can literally hear us anywhere when you listen on your smartphone. And now you can hear us on the Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and the TuneIn app. So pick your favorite and search and follow WTIC News Talk 1080 in the app. Then listen wherever you are. It's really that easy. So no more, I can't get the signal. We've made it easy. WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting...
Yeah, we got it. We got it, Josh. Thank you.
Our debt reaching all-time highs. National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676, 800-201-7676.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. Here we go. California Psychics.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the Radio. As many of you have just heard, it appears that Charlie Kirk from Turning Point USA was at a Utah Valley University event. He has been shot. We are now pretty much listening to Fox News and any other reports that we can find on whether or not he has actually been. He has been hit, and no other news. Okay, but he was hit. Apparently, former Congressman and Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz was at the event live as the shots rang out at the event that Charlie Kirk was speaking at Utah Valley University. They say that he was shot and fell to his side. They did hear the shots ring out. It does not appear that there were multiple shots, but there was one shot directly at Charlie Kirk that did hit him. They did see blood. We do not know if he is being transported to any hospital or which hospital for that matter. And we do not know the condition of Charlie Kirk. They are, there's no talk of whether or not he has been fatally shot. But we do know that he indeed was hit by gunfire while he was on stage speaking at the Utah Valley University at the event. Again, we have Jason Chaffetz, who is actually he's speaking live to Fox News about what he saw. Okay, Chaffetz is okay. I don't know if I can't really join it in progress here for now, but we do have to we'll take a break in a couple of minutes. If you can give me a moment here, folks, I will see if I can get this audio up so that you can hear it here directly. So forgive me, it'll take me a second. I will continue to talk and walk you through this as I'm gathering information. Roseanne is here with me as well. I don't know. Roland, does it sound like you can hear my TV or not? No? Okay. All right. No problem. Actually, just hold on, folks. I'm actually right here, and here we go. Let me see if I can get this. I'm going to get the audio directly up on my, here it is. Come on, please.
I can't say that I saw blood. I can't say that I saw.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get this audio.
Very low.
There you go. Okay.
And I can just hope and pray that somehow he survived that.
My God, we're all praying. He's married to his wife, Erica, for 4 years now. Jason, obviously, you're visibly very emotional, obviously, having just witnessed this. Married to Erica for 4 years, 2 children, a son and a daughter. All we can do is pray right now until we get an update on what exactly happened here and his condition, although there are reports that he was ushered off by his security team, and if shot, obviously, hoping he's getting immediate medical help. There are obviously, Jason, starting to be some pictures emerging online of the moment when this happened. There are even some photos of a man who was hauled off after this happened. So we're waiting on details and facts as this story develops. But we know Charlie. We've seen and heard from him many times over the years. He's been a very present conservative through the Trump movement, leading students. And to your point, Jason, you said he came to town. We came to listen. He has an enormous following and so many supporters that obviously would be praying for him right now, Jason.
Well, I traded text messages with him. I traded text messages with him ahead of time, and I said, hey, Charlie, I hope they get a chance to see you. Our family would like to see you again, and we still want to see him again. So he said he was going to go for a few hours, and maybe we could see him afterwards. But gosh, it's just he's there doing the right thing, and it's so great to see all these 20-year-olds enthusiastic about politics in the world, and to have an open dialogue. And
Jason, I apologize. I don't want to cut you off, but we're getting some reaction in from California Governor Gavin Newsom. Remember, he had Charlie Kirk on his podcast earlier this year. He says, quote, "The attack on Charlie Kirk is disgusting, vile, and reprehensible. In the United States of America, we must reject political violence in every form. And Sandra, Jason, just talking to you, I feel sick to my stomach right now. The first encounter I had with Charlie was back when I was covering the border, and he would just DM me on Twitter saying, hey, thank you for those reports. You're doing a great job down there. Keep in mind, he's got a wife and kids, young guy. I'm in shock at this news, Jason.
Okay, we're going to pause there, and if any other details, it appears that the actual shooting has been caught online. There is a video of the event. Roseanne is actually looking at that video now. It appears, do you know which side, if it was right or left? Does it appear? Okay, it's wow. Okay, it's yeah, it looks like the shot was near the heart, but are you certain that's not a reverse side? Okay. Okay. All right, so he was answering a question, and then that's when the bullet strikes him. I guess if there's an availability for you to see it online, you can look that up if you wish to. I don't recommend it if you're not. So we have, like I said, we'll follow this story with, I don't know, we pray for Charlie Kirk. We hope that, of course, the family does not lose a husband and a father. And those are the only people we should be thinking about right now, not about the political rhetoric to this. A man's life hangs in the balance, so we need to wait and see and pray. Pray as hard as you can, okay? Just pray as hard as you can. I'm sure that we'll have any more details with John Silva at the top of the hour news break, which we will go to in a couple of seconds, and we'll get any details that we can get on this side. On the other side when we come back. So stand by. More news, more views. Reese on the radio, updating on Charlie Kirk. Here's John Silva in the WTIC newsroom.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 3 o'clock, 72 degrees, cloudy skies in Hartford. We'll keep the clouds, maybe some sun. Mid-70s for the high. All the forecast details coming up. With the CDC trying to limit public access to the COVID vaccine, Governor Lamont says he's protecting that access in Connecticut. The state says all residents can get the shot despite the feds restricting eligibility for adults from 18 to 65 with no underlying medical conditions. The governor says he's coordinating with bordering states, as he did at the height of the COVID crisis.
We work very closely, in particular with New York and Massachusetts. And I continue to work very closely with them because I think, Bobby Kennedy and the CDC are very confusing in terms of, in particular, COVID vaccines, who's eligible, where you can get it, and more broadly, vaccines in general. So we're trying to speak with one voice.
State says as long as the COVID vaccine is available here, insurance companies must cover it regardless of federal government rules. Breaking news out of Utah with reports of a shooting at Utah Valley University and possibly involving Charlie Kirk. Still getting some details on this, and we'll get more information as it becomes readily available. Washington, D.C. gets full control of its police department as that 30-day emergency order from the Trump administration expires. What that means for the district?
The Metropolitan Police Department now once again has full autonomy over its police department, will be making all the decisions, all the movements as it continues to combat crime. But that does not mean federal presence is gone. In fact, the National Guard troops here in the district have been extended through November 30th and could stay as long as then.
That's correspondent Weijia Zhang at the White House. European leaders are accusing Russia of deliberate provocation by sending drones into Poland's airspace. NATO jets shot them down. A spokesman says it was the first time the alliance confronted a potential threat in its airspace. Lithuania's foreign minister, Kęstutis Budrys, says this cannot be ignored.
This is the time to build our defenses. And we're together with the United States on it. And of course, there's a lot to do about the Europeans. That's why in the longer term, we have to talk about it within the European Union. how we are strengthening our front line.
The incursion occurred late Tuesday and early today as part of a wave of strikes by the Kremlin on Ukraine. An American Airlines jet en route to San Francisco returned to Philly after reported bird strikes following takeoff.
American 2035, multiple bird strikes will need to return.
That audio from liveatc.net. No injuries were reported. The plane returned safely and is being inspected. Local cities and towns are receiving a financial shot in the arm when it comes to paying for road maintenance. All will share in $80 million over the next 2 fiscal years. Officials at a news conference this morning in Newington say that's a 33% increase over what the municipalities were receiving and marks the largest such infusion in a decade. Newington Mayor John Trister says for towns like his, the money lessens the strain on their budgets.
Because of this town aid grant, we're allowed to, it gives us the flexibility to budget out in our capital budget plan to allow us to maintain these roads and maintain our planning for long term.
He says funding from TAR, the Town Aid Road Grant Program, means Newington's allocation increases from just under $412,000 to over $500,000. WTIC News Time is 3:04 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network. We should be winding up the midday road work soon within the next half hour or so in Rocky Hill on 91 South between exit 24 and 21 in the left lane. 384 westbound crews have been in the area of exits 3 and 1B right in center lanes there. Down in Bridgeport, 8 southbound between 2A and 1D as you approach 95. There is left lane work. And in New Britain, 72 westbound, just prior to exit 4, we've got the left lane shut. Here's the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
We will often get some pretty long stretches of dry weather in autumn across our region, and looks like we're in the middle of one of those stretches right now. Now, there has been a couple of showers along the coast this morning into the afternoon, but most places have been rain-free, and for the most part, we're going to stay dry out there this afternoon with some sun. We'll top out in the mid-70s, and we turn out mostly clear tonight, a little bit on the cool side, down to 49, and mostly sunny and warmer for tomorrow. We're up into the low 80s, and then a little cooler again on Friday, but it's still going to be nice, mostly sunny, a high 75. For the most part, it looks like the weekend starts out very nice with some sunshine. We'll top out at 77 on Saturday. Next storm approaches from the north and west Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday, there could be a shower or thunderstorm. We'll top out in the mid-70s. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow down 232. NASDAQ's down 15. S&P is up 14. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Coverage varies by plan. View exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800 253-6203.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back. It's Reese on the radio, WTIC, in about a half an hour, well, less than that, I apologize, roughly about 22 minutes. We are going to go to our online broadcast, which will be at the Odyssey app or WTIC.com, or you can watch it live on ReeseOnTheRadio.com or any of the platforms that you watch it on, Facebook, YouTube, and X, also known as Twitter. Jason Chaffetz is actually live online. He didn't see the actual shooting, or at least that's not what I'm hearing, but he was at the event. We did watch the video. For those of you who do not, I totally understand. Please forgive me if you don't want to hear what I am about to describe, but simply enough, it is like any one of Charlie Kirk's events. This was outdoors. He is in a tent. He is surrounded by hundreds of young people at the university. If you might remember this about Charlie Kirk, he was very instrumental in getting young people to vote in this past election and to vote for Donald Trump. He was he was the driving force, and he had been doing what he's been doing, or what he did today, for years, going to college campuses and promoting conservatism and in some ways Christianity on those campuses. And kids who wish to see him will come out and listen to his speeches. Other kids who do not agree with him are given the opportunity to challenge him. He does it with his own security team that he has been able to, pay for and acquire. And he has a large following. When he comes to a college campus, kids show up. They like him. They are interested in him. He is not some cult leader, as it were. He is a dialogue leader. And he likes having dialogue. He believes in being challenged. And these events are like that. It's in an open air situation. So it's not done with this security where there are people out watching the crowds. They are there to protect him, sort of like right there within line of sight. So should anyone run up on him or do something like that, they can protect him. From what we have been able to glean from this video that people were, from the crowd, taking, they say that it was a rifle. They do believe it was high powered. He is shot from a distance. They do have the shooter in custody. Now, I have to say something that is controversial, but even if it is factual. The person who is in custody is an older male, an older white male, balding, gray hair. I don't want to suggest anything, but come on, think. Just think. And as much as I have a show that's planned out. I spend hours putting it together. But now I've got to consider what I am playing on this air today, because that Chris Murphy audio and video is exactly what I'm talking about here. And just like the conversation that I was having earlier with AT in the chat room, when he says that Donald Trump is given to irresponsible rhetoric, whose rhetoric led to the shooting of Charlie Kirk? What rhetoric? And I said, and it's why, I don't believe in coincidences. You say all of those things because, again, at what point do you have to pull back and go, what are you permitting? Because you get to lay, all of your grievances on that of Donald Trump. You get to say Donald Trump says things. So this means what? This means that you can behave. You think he's reprehensible. Does this mean you can be much worse? Where do you give yourself some grace? Where do you look and say, I'm above that? Doing what Trump, or what I believe Trump is doing, is beneath me. When does that ever come up? No. Because I told you, and I mean it. what you are looking for. And that's all it is. I equate it. I say this all the time, folks. You know I do. Some of you are annoyed at me for bringing it up because it almost seems infantile. But it is. It's as simple as having 2 children at home. And you catch one of them stealing cookies from the cookie jar. And you say, Timmy, what are you doing? And Timmy turns around and looks at you and says, but Alice took one. Which is Timmy just saying, look, Alice took one and nobody did anything. I want one too. Her bad behavior is license for me to do something wrong. That's the rationale. Now, out of a 5-year-old, come on. 5-year-old doesn't have the wits, doesn't have the wit to understand that what they've done is wrong and they can't just blame somebody else for what they've committed there. There is a personal responsibility. So when you're an adult and I say to you, why do you say things like that? And your answer is, well, Donald Trump says worse. It is the same thing. Now I want to give it the other side. I want to to talk to you about somebody who would want to take the life of Charlie Kirk. And you, if you don't understand this, you haven't been watching or listening to the world. Charlie Kirk, in that man's eyes, had to be eliminated. Why? It isn't because he didn't like what Charlie Kirk had to say. It's never about that. Never. It is always about the effectiveness of Charlie Kirk. It's the same thing with Donald Trump. Why did they have to remove him from Twitter? Why did they have to remove him from social media? Because he was effective. If you eliminate him, that means that the idea dies. But how silly is that? If that were the case, eliminating Osama bin Laden would have ended terrorism. How'd that work out? Did it? No. And if we are to believe, as many of us are told, if you strike a terrorist, only more will be influenced. That's what they told us after September 11th. They only grow in numbers if you attack them. That's how the Islamophobia thing came about. Islamophobia, don't be Islamophobic. It will only create more terrorists. We have to be nice. We have to be kind. Why isn't that the case with guys like Charlie Kirk? Why isn't that the case with J.D. Vance? Hell, why isn't it the case with Donald Trump? Don't they believe that Donald Trump and Al-Qaeda are one and the same? Hell, they call him Hitler. Wouldn't attacking him only cause that faction to grow by your own logic? Wouldn't it? It isn't about the things that they say it's about. It is about anger, it's about vitriol, and they need license to do it. That's all. They need it. They want to have their day. They want their pound of flesh. And this individual, just this individual, is responsible for what happened to Charlie Kirk. But if we are to listen to those who like to exploit shootings of this kind, imagine the Pandora's box you have just opened. I really, really pray Charlie Kirk survives. I need him to survive. Everyone needs him to survive. Even those who oppose him. People they know that this has always kind of been our history. What has always happened to the person that something like this happens to? What happens to them? We know how this works out. It gets worse and worse and worse for the people who committed the act, the ones who cheered it on, the ones who are going to be online celebrating this shooting. They will not know what to do with themselves. They will think that this in some way is a victory. But the good people, those of you who think you are so good, you are so virtuous, you are so kind, you are really the most empathetic people in the world, what will you say to those people? Will you tell them to stop? Will you tell them that that's wrong? Will you tell them, will you condemn it? There's a reason why Gavin Newsom was one of the first people, if not the first, on the other side politically to come out and say something immediately and said, no, we condemn this. He's got to condemn it. The two were on his podcast not too long ago. He's got to condemn it. And now others have to as well. They don't have a choice. Hell, I'm just playing it.
We're not going to convince Donald Trump to stand down in his attempts to destroy our democracy through de-escalatory politics. Like, that's just not happening. So our only opportunity, our only chance to save our democracy is to fight fire with fire right now. So yeah, do I bemoan the fact that, we're now blowing up norms? Yes, but literally for 2 seconds, because if you spend any more than that being sorry for the fact that the old world doesn't exist, then your democracy is gone. Like, we're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
When I hear that, I wonder is there enough people that believe that same thing? And until you get more to believe that may be why the Democrats aren't rowing in the same direction yet.
You can't get people to believe it if you don't act like it.
Are you in a war? Remember, these words matter. Are you in a war? When you say that you have to get rid of norms, these words matter. Let's take a couple of these words that are so important. I asked Grok. Senator Chris Murphy has frequently criticized Donald Trump in public statements, posts, and interviews, accusing him of disregarding the law and promoting and inciting violence. Below, here are some notable examples that draw from ex-posts and reported statements focusing on these themes. In 2025 of September, this month, Murphy said, the president believes he's above the law. He doesn't believe the law applies to him. He also said, we are not living in a democracy any longer with our criminal justice system, where our criminal justice system is used selectively to punish the president's political opponents and give his loyalists and friends immunity. We are becoming a banana republic in front of our eyes. We cannot normalize it, he said. He said, so today we learned that Trump has authorized super risky op to plant a listening device in North Korea. It failed badly. We killed a bunch of innocent North Korean fishermen, and probably not coincidentally, diplomacy went off the rails. Here's where he talks about violence. Remember, Chris Murphy's own words says we have to fight fire with fire. These are his words. We have to fight what Donald Trump's doing with the same thing.
We're not going to convince Donald Trump to stand down in his attempts to destroy our democracy through de-escalatory politics. Like, that's just not happening. So our only opportunity, our only chance to save our democracy is to fight fire with fire, right?
He also said, Trump is making it 100% clear violence will be a major part of his presidency. In June of this year, Trump sends other clear signals supporting political violence. Violence is the key of Trump's platform. He has made it 100% clear that if you commit violence to help him win power, he will protect you from any legal consequences. Again, Chris Murphy.
Right now. So, yeah, do I bemoan the fact that, we're now blowing up norms? Yes, but literally for 2 seconds, because if you spend any more than that being sorry for the fact that the old world doesn't exist, then your democracy is gone. Like we're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
When I hear,
Okay? Just again, I want you to think about that. This is the behavior. What is happening is insanity. And when you do the things that are being done, when you talk about things in the manner in which you do, like Chris Murphy, like Bernie Sanders, like Rachel Maddow, like Lawrence O'Donnell, like hell, everybody at MSNBC, and you use words like they are going to kill or they are violent. Van Jones on CNN just went after Charlie Kirk, saying that he was the dog whistle because he spoke out against the killing of Irina, the Ukrainian girl. A day later, 48 hours later, he's shot? What are we going to find on this man's computer? They captured him alive. James Hodgkins, back in 2017? He was killed in his efforts to attack Republicans, but what did they find online? Repeating the mantras of Rachel Maddow and Bernie Sanders that Republicans are going to kill people over health care. Kill people. Hodgkins took it upon himself to put an end to that. I've got to stop. He took it upon himself. You're right, Bernie. You're right, Rachel. I have to take this upon myself.
40 seconds. Got to go in exactly 40 seconds.
Okay, that's fine. We can go in 40 seconds. Looks like. Okay, so he was shot from approximately 200 yards away from a building to where he was sitting. Any work on nothing on his condition as of yet? Yeah, the man they have in handcuffs? Okay, so, all right, so he's not giving up anything. So they're going to search everything. Yeah, okay, so we got to go to a break. Roland, just cut me off if I missed the cue. We're going to switch over to .com. Of course, you can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com if you don't have the Odyssey app, or if you can't get to WTIC.com, which seems easier to do. So just do that, and we'll see you in a little bit. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, how'd you get your water heater fixed so fast?
Aiello Home Services, same-day plumbing. I gave them a call, and they had a plumber on their way. They even sent the plumber's real-time location, so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day plumbing, call, click, or text today and say, hello, Aiello. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926. P102776888. S104134487. D1040145. S3308699. SM3004646. E1185643.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Life unfolds in ways you never quite expect. Starting a new business, getting remarried, being hurt on the job, or through personal injury. Each time, you're left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all of your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of UConn Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearest is responsible for the content of this ad.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium
premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill. But those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in. Cool as can be. Tap Good RX. Saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC at 1080 News. Cloudy skies and 73 degrees. There's word this afternoon that conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been shot.
CBS News special report. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been shot while speaking at a university in Utah. A spokesperson for Utah Valley University, which is in the city of Orem, tells CBS News, "We are aware of the reported shooting and responding to the scene. Videos on social media show thousands in the crowd, then shots, then people beginning to run. Reports are that Kirk was shot in the neck. Moments before the shooting, Kirk posted this on social media.
That's a lot of people, Utah, I'll tell you what.
Videos and photos of the event writing Utah Valley University is fired up and ready for the first stop back on the American Comeback Tour. Kirk, who is 31, co-founded Turning Point USA, which is widely considered the largest and most influential conservative youth organization in the country. As part of his tour, he hosts a Prove Me Wrong table, giving the audience a chance to stump the political pundit. The FBI says it is responding to the scene. CBS News special report. I'm Matt Piper.
There is a suspect in custody, but we have no word yet on the condition of Charlie Kirk. Flags across the state will be lowered to half-staff from sunrise to sunset on Thursday. This to mark 24 years since the September 11th, 2001 terror attacks on the U.S. In addition, Governor Lamont says the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge along Interstate 95 in New Haven will be illuminated in red, white, and blue tonight and Thursday night. Lamont also announcing executive action to ensure COVID-19 vaccine access to Connecticut residents that want the shot. In light of action taken on the federal level, several state agencies, including the Department of Public Health, Consumer Protection, and Insurance Department, will work in concert. Millions of dollars headed to cities and towns for local road projects. At a press conference at a DOT site in Newington today to make that announcement, officials say it is the largest such investment in over a decade. WTIC News time is 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine for the rest of the afternoon. Nothing more than a brief sprinkle or shower. That's more likely going to be right along the Connecticut coast. We'll top out in the mid-70s, and we turn out mostly clear. Tonight down to 49. Tomorrow mostly sunny, a little bit warmer. We're up into the low 80s. And Friday, sunshine and nice, a little bit cooler again, a high 75. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
73 and cloudy right now in Hartford. Stay tuned. Red Sox baseball next. Sox and the A's from San Jose. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Do you know a veteran in need? After leaving the military, many veterans struggle to find their way home. Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face through the VA's supportive services for veteran families.
It is very clear that this country is still struggling with racism. We still have racism showing up in almost every institution. We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, is just pure race mongering, hate mongering. It's wrong.
Are we back yet? All right, everybody, stand by. Let me see. No. We're good? I'm assuming we're somewhere near good.
Change your phone over?
Yeah, I took care of my phones.
All right, cool.
I think Roland's just setting up what's called sort of the audio feed for the .com, so bear with me. We're still trying to get to other information. There are a couple of videos that are out there that look look like if the video is real and it's not AI, it was a pretty bad shot. And I'm definitely I can't look at blood. I get completely like, ugh. It's debilitating for me. And I saw it once and it was enough. So it just, it's one of those things that you don't ever want to see. You know, you look at this stuff and you keep saying, like, what is happening? I know a lot of you already think that you know what's happening. I know that you think that you do. You know, and maybe I'm taking the approach that it's a little more nuanced. But if I can reiterate something that I said in an opening monologue a couple of days ago, is that we are dealing with a society that is petulant at this time. And there has been this degree of which their vision for the world has always happened for them, with some hiccups here and there. But never has there been a time where everything that they believe, like, and if I...
Do you know a veteran in need?
Okay, well, I'll talk about this in the next break. Stand by.
Many veterans...
1 minute.
All right, we got a minute.
Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who've served and their families for another 50. To get help, visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we're back. We're online at WTIC.com and, of course, ReeseOnTheRadio.com. I'll go to your comments in a second. So what we're learning so far is that they do have the suspect in custody. At one point, there's a video of him walking or having difficulty or stopping himself, sort of like doing the dead foot while they're moving. And then at some point, they have to carry him to a vehicle to take him to the to the police station. There is still no word on Charlie Kirk's condition. I hope that is a good thing. I want it to be a good thing. And I'll be honest, behind the scenes, I'm just shaking my head and just praying and just going, please survive. It's not even about needing. I want him to survive. I don't, this is not one of those things where, he's got a young family, and the only thing I want for him is to go home to his wife and his children. That's all I want for him. And, this is one of those things where you just, don't let them get an edge. I just don't. He's a good man and a good person. And, I know it's up to God. I know it's God's will. And we have to accept him and do God's will. So Charlie has, he's accepted the Lord Jesus Christ as his Savior. I know he is good with him. And I just want him to be there for his family. That's all. Craig says, sorry, pal, but there's no nuance to the left, just different degrees of sick. I hope there's people smarter than me that can give context to something like this. Yeah, again, like, this is, one of those things where you can't look. I'm going to say that a lot of people are going to say that look and listen to the things that are said on the left. And what they're doing is taking mentally unstable people and unleashing them onto the public so they can do what they do. But we've always known that. People are going to take this ridiculous comment that came from Christy Holmes. And, yeah, I'm about to play it. This is, no, not Christy Holmes, Katie Tur on MSNBC, who said this, which is, again, reprehensible. But again, like I said, don't be surprised at these people being who they are.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
Yeah. So Katie Tur on her program has somebody on who says, we don't know what this is. This could have been a supporter shooting his gun off in celebration. Like, and what is the purpose of saying something like that? What is that for? Because deep down inside, what they are fearful of or concerned with is that their rhetoric is going to be blamed. They already have a sense of responsibility. That's why saying that to their audience, it's like, this could have been anything. If you're an objective news network, you don't have to cover anything like that. You don't even have to cover your own ass. You don't. You don't need to. You simply go, we don't know the details. We don't start speculating ridiculous things like that. Oh, so someone shooting in the air managed for a bullet to go 200 yards? Shut up. Which again, this is what we call showing the hand. Yeah, we don't know what it was. It could have been anything. Yeah, we know it could. We know what it definitely was. Charlie Kirk is in the hospital with a gunshot wound. How about just sticking to that? Here's CNN. Again, desperate to almost, in a weird way, try to justify the violence committed by the individual.
He's also a controversial figure at times. He goes into these various college campuses, pushes conservative issues, gets into heated back and forth often with these students on these college campuses. But of course, none of that is violent.
then what's the purpose of bringing it up? See, that's the tell. That's the showing of the hand. We must tell our viewers, if you don't know anything about Charlie Kirk, he subjected himself to this because he's often controversial with his conservative views. Those are the key points. Language is important. It's clearly important to these folks. And people are listening to that just going, what in the hell is going on? Like, why would you even say that? Like, how do you not have a sense of, like, there is no need for editorializing here? Charlie Kirk has been shot. A suspect is in custody. Police are investigating. We are trying to get word at the hospital he's been taken to find out his condition. Now back to regular news. I got nothing else to add. But the incessant need to add commentary. How many Republicans shot? Shot BLM protesters. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. They were burning down people's homes, burning down people's businesses. And remember how they treated one conservative who stood up for himself and actually fired on 3 individuals who tried to take his life. Remember what they did to him. For those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, like, really? Kyle Rittenhouse? Yeah. That's how insane this has gotten. I didn't want to have to play that Chris Murphy thing after this, but, you know, this is going to be one of those things that we've got to cover, and we're going to have to be as tireless when it comes to more and more details. There is nothing that is online I am watching because, unfortunately, we can't rely on mainstream news media. I don't even care if it's Fox. But if something does, I mean, somebody else will break the story. I'm sure they will. I can't even read some of the other stuff that's on here. People are praying. Everybody out there is praying for him. They are, oh, Jesus. Wow, they do not kid when they post these videos, man. They do not kid. And now other people are now posting the Chris Murphy audio, as I suspected was going to happen, was immediately going to happen. I know then, and I hope, I really do, I hope that Chris Murphy is smart enough to, 1, take it down, or to 2, respond. Now, I haven't seen anything yet. In fact, I'll go to his page because that's going to be the case. Now, I was going to make the case that people in the news media should ask Chris Murphy, what does he mean when he says that norms have to be pretty much dismissed? There is nothing as of yet, so he hasn't posted anything. This is 3 hours ago, him complaining about the Venezuelan boat. Nope. He still got up the video, so we'll see. I'm sure plenty of people are responding to it. I'll go to the phones for a minute. Let's go to Mark. What's going on, sir?
So, you know me. I call the newsrooms up. You're going to love this one.
Talk to me.
Called up FSB, and they said they're reaching out to everyone. And I said, can you be more specific? Did you reach out? My question was to each of the newsrooms. Did you reach out to Senator Chris Murphy for a statement, soundbite, an interview? You sent a crew to his office, anything? That's how I started each newsroom question. So they said we're reaching out to everybody in no specific. The next one was WTNH. Yeah, I'm not sure if we are. WFSB, no, not yet. And the best was Fox 61, a real wise guy.
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not joking. Why would we do that? I said because there's no other elected official in Connecticut that has spewed more rhetoric towards conservatives and Republicans with dangerous words,
Yeah.
statements,
Yeah.
sound bites. And he goes, well, what? Oh, so you're telling me, and he goes like this, so you're telling me, so a political activist is what you're interested in, having this cover?
Really?
And then he hung up the phone.
Wow.
Fox 61. Hey, can I give out the number?
Why not? It's their number. It's their newsroom number.
Yeah, 860-727-0082. I hope you guys troll this
Give it
guy.
again. Give it again. Give it
I
again.
never reach anybody so insensitive in a newsroom ever.
One more time.
Why would we cover it?
One more time.
Over a political activist?
Can you even hear me? One more time, sir. 860.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
That's okay.
727-0082.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we're gonna follow up on anything that we can on any other news, and I can only assume that they are doing everything within their power to save his life. That's why there's been no word. And they are probably, if he's in extensive surgery, I can imagine that it's been this long and we haven't heard anything. That what they are trying to do right now is to help him recover in some way, or at least to save his life. He is probably very critical at this point. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, man. Tell me any news that you get, all right?
All right.
Thanks, man. Mike is in Hartford. How are you, sir?
Anybody that says they're an activist has a mind of a plant, if that.
I don't look. I
put themselves up on a pedestal.
I tell you this point that we've gotten to, where people have a hard time condemning what we're seeing or what we're witnessing more and more and again, what we're talking about is this is absolutely extreme, but it's not like we haven't seen other acts of violence against conservatives.
Why did this guy call the newsroom at 61? What was the topic? What was the question?
He was asking whether or not they were reaching out to any statements by the politicians after a political activist like Charlie Kirk, who's got a huge following, has been shot, with every politician usually opining when a shooting happens, especially of a political figure, if not at a school or anything else. At this point, has there been any statement by those individuals? And has anybody at the newsroom reached out? Normally they do. In this case, Fox 61 said, what would we do that for? Which I find odd.
I'm gonna move to Nebraska or Montana because 2 words define those states out there. It's called frontier justice.
Yeah.
We need it. We need it here.
No, we don't need,
we're never gonna get it.
We need more than that. What we need today is for everybody to take a beat, especially those who are praying for Charlie Kirk. Do not lose focus. You need your prayers. Your prayers work, believe it or not. Everybody needs their prayers. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Simsbury. What's going on, sir?
Hi, Reese. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I just watched a video that TikTok keeps taking down as quickly as people put it up.
Mm-hmm.
Was taken by someone from about 15 feet away.
I saw it.
And yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. So, I'm so angry. I don't want to say something that is going to be inappropriate in my anger. So what I will say, though, is that what I'm going to pray for, because if it's not this, then I'm not going to be nice anymore. I'm not going to be respectful. I'm going to be in people's faces like you cannot even imagine when given the opportunity. I'm praying for it to be someone who's just a nut job, apolitical person who figured big crowd, big star, I'm going to take a shot at him. Because if it's someone on the left, if it's someone who's trans, I noticed that he was shot 2 words after he used the word gay. If it's someone who's gay, then I just can't be respectful. I can't be the older gentleman that I'm supposed to be, with regards to any of those groups who politically will come out and say things that deserve to be responded to in a way that they will never say them again.
The thing that I don't know if you sort of caught on to what I was insinuating earlier, Joe, was that the suspect, older white male, and you can pretty much, if you've watched the news, if you're a news wonk like me and many of the audience is, you know what you see in those protests in and around the country. No matter what the topic is, this shooter, this alleged shooter, fits the bill. Older, white, anti-conservative. And when immediately when I heard it happen, it was the last thing I was thinking of, because one, it's Charlie Kirk. Two, it's where he's, where he is, like where he dwells as a conservative commentator and sort of like thought leader. And the first thing that ran through me is like, okay, it's a young person on the campus who's obviously objected to things that he says and he talks about. But then to see that older white male, I immediately went, there it is. Because the thing that I hear most as far as everybody is concerned, and I am going to implicate Chris Murphy in this, is that he has said that we need people to activate. He was the one who said that they need to be energized and get out there. And when we're talking about political rhetoric that they always seem to admonish when it comes out of the mouth of Donald Trump, and it can be screwed, twisted and turned in any particular way. And then they use words like that or phrases like that, and no one even bats an eye. And then something like this happens, and you see who it is. You go, how are you not culpable? You have to ask.
They're until we're the ones who are doing this stuff to them.
Yeah,
they are 100% culpable.
Right. I agree.
It's all landing on one side, as you were listing all the different scenarios that have occurred, and that's why I'm hoping that this is just a nut job, apolitical guy who has ramblings on his computer that no one can tell if he's conservative or liberal.
Yeah.
Because if it's the left again, enough. We're done with you. We're done.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, at this point, there is no argument. You can try to have one as far as the left is concerned. They can try, but that's a wrap. There is no, again, and look, I was thinking about this today as part of the show. It's just go, look, man, we have just got to, you remember when I did that whole monologue about accepting the fact that there is stupid. Like, we have to understand the fact that there are stupid beings out there. We cannot ignore that anymore. These people have gotten so mind numb and stupid that they will risk their life and limb to commit acts of violence, to destroy their own lives because they don't agree with an ideology. It ain't that serious, but to them it is. So
it's unreal.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
Unreal. Not good. Not a good day.
I know that. Look, I'm with you. I saw that video. It made me pray even harder. But I'll just say this, because I'm not going to say what we're talking about. I guess people can suggest. But I hope we're both wrong. I really want us to be wrong. I need us to be wrong.
Yeah.
Just for his family.
I know he could have been at the front door of an operating room.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this is going to turn out well.
Okay. All right. We're hoping. We're praying. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
You got it. All right. In a minute or so, we're going to, just about a minute, we're going to get our first check of weather and traffic. Again, we will keep following up as we go on. I've got more news and more views. I'll try to see if we can take our minds off this a little bit. I will read your comments when we return also in the chat room. Try to, if you can, try to say something positive. If not, for the life, the legacy, and the memory, if anything, for Charlie Kirk. And we'll read that when we come back. And we're going to sit here and wait. Let's get our first check of the weather and traffic. I think Bob Larson's back in the Weather Center, and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, thank you very much, Reese. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91, you've got delays from exit 33 down to 32A and B in Hartford. If you're on the northbound side of I-91, you're looking good. Cromwell up through downtown, up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slowing about a mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. If you are traveling 291 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 westbound, you got some slow traffic now from exit 1D up to the 84 West merge in East Hartford. Now, if you are traveling on the westbound side of 84, look out for an accident by exit 36 Slater Road in New Britain. It looks like it is between exit 36. Well, it looks like it's right at exit 36, and look for the left lane to be out there. If you are traveling into Middletown right now, the traffic looks good. Just a little slowdown 9 northbound by the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound Waterbury slowing 23 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound slowing by exit 18. Southbound 95, some slow traffic from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
We will often get some pretty long stretches of dry weather in autumn across our region, and looks like we're in the middle of one of those stretches right now. There has been a couple of showers along the coast this morning into the afternoon, but most places have been rain-free, and for the most part, it'll stay dry out there this afternoon with some sun. We'll top out in the mid-70s, and we turn out mostly clear tonight, a little bit on the cool side, down to 49, and mostly sunny and warmer for tomorrow. We're up into the low 80s. And then a little cooler again on Friday, but it's still going to be nice. Mostly sunny, a high 75. For the most part, it looks like the weekend starts out very nice with some sunshine. We'll top out at 77 on Saturday. Next storm approaches from the north and west Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday, there could be a shower or thunderstorm. We'll top out in the mid-70s. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 72 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Conservative activist and the co-founder of Turning Points USA, Charlie Kirk, was shot today at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University.
Turning Point USA, the conservative group that he co-founded, tells CBS News he was shot in the neck. He's at the hospital. It does not look good. It happened as Kirk was speaking in front of a huge crowd as part of his tour. Raydon Desheen was there and says they did not need to go through security.
There was none. It was like, so when you walked in there, it was like a kind of in the crevice of the buildings with a bridge across it. And then behind it was like a grassy open area with a little bit of sitting that's kind of in a stadium seating.
CBS News has learned that a suspect is in custody, and this witness says they saw that person being arrested.
Yeah, the man who, after they took him down, he yelled, "I'd do it again."
Today was Kirk's first tour date of his Turning Point USA's The American Comeback Tour. CBS News Special Report. I'm Matt Piper.
Governor Lamont says he is protecting widespread access to the COVID vaccine in our state. That's after the CDC, under HHH Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., tried to restrict eligibility for healthy adults from ages 18 to 65. Lamont's new executive actions allow all interested residents to get the shots.
You know, obviously the pharmacies push back and they say, hey, look, the CDC has their rules as well. We're waiting to see how they get clarified. But right now, that's what our guidance is. You can pick up the vaccine at your local pharmacy. Maybe you want to wait a few weeks until we have a better idea of what the COVID season may look like.
Now, the state also says as long as the COVID vaccine is available here, insurance companies must cover it regardless of federal government rulings. The Connecticut Hospital Association says the governor's efforts are, quote, critical to supporting patients and protecting
He fell over to the side. He was carried off. He had blood on his arms. He had blood on his shirt.
Warplanes
He was
shot
dragged off
down
and carried out of the
Russian
venue.
drones
There was a
in
gunshot that
Poland's
rang out.
airspace overnight.
You okay?
European leaders are promising
I'm
to do
not okay.
more in
I saw
the biggest
someone get shot
spillover
today.
yet
Yeah.
in the war between
I
Russia
saw-
and Ukraine. Senator Tom Tillis.
At some point, I think we have to punch back, and I think that point's now.
Now, lawmakers are considering further sanctions on Russia, while Ukraine's president says Russia is testing the limits More from correspondent Eleanor Watson.
The NATO Secretary General said that there will be a full accounting of Russia's intent, but already some European leaders are pointing to these violations with the fear that Russia was probing NATO air responses to test what would happen if Russia decides to put on a larger attack in the future.
A spokesman for 9/11 family says there's new hope for justice since a federal judge recently said the family's lawsuit against Saudi Arabia can go to trial. The suit claims the kingdom was complicit in the attacks by supporting the hijackers on the ground in the U.S. Brett Eagleson, whose father died on 9/11, says the case is moving
to take
forward
place.
despite a lack
And that's
of
the
support
unfortunate
from
environment we're
several
in,
U.S. administrations,
which then lead
including
to
President
hateful
Trump's.
actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to
His son-in-law, Jared Kushner, has taken a $2 billion cash investment from the kingdom.
And Governor Lamont announcing that flags across the state will be lowered to half-staff from sunrise to sunset on Thursday, marking 24 years since the attacks on the U.S. In addition, Lamont says the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge that spans 95 in New Haven will be illuminated in red, white, and blue both tonight and tomorrow night. On Wall Street, the Dow down 220 points, NASDAQ up 6, S&P up 19. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Do you know a veteran in need? After leaving the military, many veterans struggle to find their way home. Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who've served and their families for another 50. To get help, visit Nation's Finest or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're back, and the Associated Press is reporting that Charlie Kirk is in critical condition. The accuracy of that report has not been vetted as of yet. I am, again, just repeating as the Associated Press is reporting, and Fox News is now reporting that they say Charlie Kirk is in critical condition. Now, the video's online. It was the reason why I made that claim. I said, be careful at what you are watching, because one video that I saw may have been AI, and it showed that he was shot in the chest where the heart was. And I was very skeptical of that because that video was just gave me pause. So what I do understand now from actual witnesses who have gone live have said that he was indeed shot in the neck. And Turning Point USA has released that statement. And what they said was, it doesn't look good, quote. That was what they said. I would normally play the bit, but I don't want to because, of course, of the tone. But I do want to congratulate Karen L. out of West Hartford today, because she is our recipient of the dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, which is located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. If you'd like to win, all you have to do is go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Put in your information. Make sure your telephone number and your birth date are there. In order for you to win, you must live in the state of Connecticut, and you cannot have won within the last 6 months. When we come back, I will be reading your statements in the chat room. Magic Man Ray is in the chat room, and he wrote some very, very encouraging words to my friend Apple, because she is watching this at home, as many of you are if you're at your desk and you're sitting there, with your fingers crossed or you're praying. It all seems like it's going to hell in a handbasket. But I want to read what Ray wrote in the chat room for a lot of you who are bewildered by the events as they take place. Stand by for that. Let's get a check of your weather and traffic because you still got to get home. And Bob Larson has got weather, and Mark Christopher is at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Reese. Thank you very much. Well, if you're heading westbound 84 into Hartford, you're going to see delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Another bump as you move up by exit 40 Corbin's Corner on the westbound side of 84. And then look out for an accident westbound 84 by exit 36 in New Britain. Left lane block there. Looks like delays are back to exit 38 behind that. Eastbound side of 84, you're locked up about a mile before 46th and Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound 91 delays 34 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. Northbound side of 91, that moves well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 2 westbound slowing East Hartford. 1D up to the 84 West merge, 291 through 84 okay. If you're heading 9 northbound, you've got delays approaching Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound slowing by 18, 84 westbound. You got some slow traffic from 22 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Cheshire, sluggish from 26 down to the 691 interchange. If you're heading into New Haven, southbound 95 delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We're going to have intervals of clouds and sunshine out there for the rest of the afternoon. Temperature topping out in the low and mid-70s. Skies will turn out clear tonight, down to 49. A little bit on the cool side. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny and warmer again. We're up into the low 80s. And it looks like the nice weather continues on Friday, mostly sunny, a high 75. Right now it's 72 in Middletown, 71 in Bristol, and it's 73
Mr. President, first
meteorologist John
note
Feerick in the
that
WTIC Weather
we are
Center.
all horrified.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Do you know a veteran in need? After leaving the military, many veterans struggle to find their way home. Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who've served and their families for another 50. To get help, visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, we're back. Reading your comments here. So Apple says that this world that we live in doesn't make sense anymore. And Magic Man Ray says, the world no longer makes sense because the rapture has already begun. The Son of Man appeared in the sky. Search giant's face behind the moon. Satan was cast on earth on July 16th of 2024. What does that one mean? He appeared as a fireball over the daytime sky of New York City. Search these things. I know these things to be true because across from my crippled chair shortly after, I was given a new body. Read Revelations. It's over. I don't know about that part, Ray. But yes, I do believe that a lot of the scripture has begun. I do. Because I believe that we are at a point in our lives where we have to fight what is, theoretically, sometimes ideologically, what may indeed be true evil, being masked as virtuous, being masked as righteous. There's a lot of that. For those of you who are interested in a response from Chris Murphy, here it is.
Mr. President, I'd first note that we are all horrified watching images and following the news out of Utah, and we are sending all of our thoughts to Mr. Kirk, to his family, to survivors there.
I don't know about you, but it sounded like it was a difficult thing for him to do, but, you know, I'm sure it was heartfelt. I'll give him grace. Not so much from
But following up what was just
Matthew Dowd over at MSNBC, because, again, what's the point that you have to say something this disgusting? Because you are trying to cover for yourself.
But following up what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
Now, again, I go to what I said earlier. What does that mean? It means you have permission. That is cover. That's the 5-year-old response, acting like a petulant child. You know, his hateful words are what led to somebody wanting to take his life. His words didn't kill anybody. But to take his life, that's equal measure. I could do this all day. Why? Because they cannot help themselves. In some way, this has to be Charlie Kirk's fault. This has to be your fault. You don't think like us. John, you need to think more like us. You need to act more like us. You can't learn, hey, you decided to be a MAGA person. You decided to be a conservative. You decided not to go along and get along. You decided that you didn't want transgenders playing in girls' sports. Somebody acted out because you refused to see it their way. If you just stop using that hateful rhetoric like opposition, can't you see? What did Charlie Kirk do? Did he preach the word of Christ? Sure. Did he preach tolerance? Of course he did. But the only thing he wanted to do was have a conversation about truth. Did he meet people where they were and had a conversation with them? Did he invite them to debate him? Let's have a conversation. He did the thing that the other side would never do. He went out there and he made himself open to the public. He puts a microphone there and says, come on, come at it. Come at me with your best. Share with me your ideas. Challenge my ideology. Let's have a debate, a dialogue. What are the things that they keep telling us we need to have? Right? We don't talk to each other enough. We don't communicate with one another enough, each other enough. We don't see how the other one lives or walk a mile in their shoes. And here was a guy who did it. He understood where he was going in the belly of the beast. College campuses. Where what? Liberalism dwells. Where he knows that orthodoxy exists in a free spirit way. And he's returning the thing that was absolutely excised out of college campuses. The ability to challenge oneself. He did this because, if you remember in the early 2000s, any conservative who was asked to speak on a college campus, Berkeley, one of the birthplaces of free speech, would be shut down. buildings would be terrorized should the likes of Ben Shapiro or Ann Coulter or any conservative for that matter would show up, and the kids would lose their ever-loving minds and things had to be destroyed. Like a bunch of toddlers breaking their toys just because someone wanted to show up and speak. Dinesh D'Souza documents this all through his videos on YouTube. People coming in, shouting, disrupting, him wanting to have a conversation with them. Shouting, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Ask me a question. Can't be done. And with all of this, instead of someone turning around and saying, hey, guys, if we disagree with them, can we at least make our point without having to scream and holler and to break stuff? If we really do believe what we think is true, can't we just do that? Can't we just have a dialogue with them? And if you're asking yourself, yeah, Reese, why don't they? Why don't they do that? Why should they? There is no logic to it. Do you understand that that's what the yelling and screaming is about? All you have to do is watch any one of these videos. And I know a lot of you are not online. I know that a lot of you don't do the whole internet thing and you're not all that savvy and you watch, cat videos. I get it. I love you for it. I'm not chiding you for it. But you have to think about it. What happens when you see these folks when their logic completely implodes on them? When you actually just walk them down their primrose path of silliness, and then they actually realize everything that they believe makes no sense to them. How do they react? Do they stop and go, oh man, you know what? Damn, that does make sense. Yeah, I didn't see it that way. You know what? Thank you. Because, I just believed and blah, blah. No. You get, shut up, you fascist, you racist. They get angry. Why would logic make you angry? Why would your own belief system blown up in front of you make you angry? Why is there no self-reflection there by going, that does make sense. I love that one video with what's that guy? Tim, what's his last name? I don't even know his name. His last name. I know it's Tim. Anyway, he has that one video where he's talking to the guy about abortion. And the guy says, I think a woman has a right to do whatever she wants with her body. He's like, what about meth? And he's like, what? He's like, pregnant woman wants to take meth while she's pregnant. And he goes, well, what about it? He goes, well, should she be charged? He's like, what do you mean? What happens when a pregnant woman takes meth? Well, she's intentionally killing the baby. He goes, oh, yeah, I see what you just did there. It is her body. Why shouldn't she be allowed to take meth? She can go get the baby sucked out of her body. I mean, one is just, slow, painful even, despicable and disgusting, but really, what's the difference? I mean, in essence, the difference between the two is that one is technically the express checkout. If you really think about it, right? Both get the same result. And that was the point. And as soon as the guy realized it, he's like, literally, watch, you can actually see the light bulb go off in the guy's head. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. It's amazing to watch. But these people cannot, because it must be the way they see it. Logic be damned. And if you don't see it our way, you have to resort to violence and screaming and attacks because you upset us. You made me think. You made me rationalize what I believe. And I want to live in a malaise. I want to be as absolutely in the dark and mind numb as I possibly can. I believe what I believe because it's cool. I believe what I believe because my friends believe it. My friends accept me because I'm just like them. We share videos about our shared beliefs online. I'm part of the club. and people like me. But they know what happens when they take the red pill and they realize that everything that they believed was a farce. What happens? They have to make that judgment. What's the guy's name? Malcolm Gladwell? I got to get that video. This guy Gladwell from the New York Times admits that he was pressured. This is a grown man, grown, educated, Ivy League man, Malcolm Gladwell. Go look him up. You see him? His little woolly hair. He looks like a young, lighter-skinned Cornel West. Nappy head. I can say that. I'm not Don Imus. He said that he believed that transgender should be in girls' sports because he felt pressured into doing it because of all of his Ivy League friends. Just go along to get along. You do what you're told. You don't dare question. And he says, I was duped. He wasn't duped. He was bullied. And where I come from, a bully's a sucker. And if you fall for a bully, if you do what the bully tells you, you're worse than the sucker. Let's go to Tom in Thomaston. Hey, Tom.
Hey, hello. Hey, I'm not I don't watch a lot of Charlie Kirk stuff, but it's really sad that he got shot. I'm so sorry for him.
You know, you should watch a lot of his stuff, even if it's just snippets like the 30-second or 60-second videos. It's what it is when the reason why I say watch them is that what he does effectively is dissect the noise. That's why he is so relevant and why he's been so instrumental. People don't realize this, but it is very true. Charlie Kirk played a huge role in the 2024 election when it came to young people. And that was the demographic that grew in Donald Trump's coalition. And he is one of the people, if not solely responsible for that.
Yeah, I've seen some of his when he does the debates. I've seen some of his YouTube.
Yeah,
and he is really, really smart.
Yes, and very committed to Scripture. And when I say committed to Scripture, what's so interesting, Tom, is that he's so committed to Scripture he can remember it off the top of his head.
Yeah, he's impressive.
Yeah.
But I just want to. You've read some of those. Statements where people think, it's the worst of times. We got to take that a little bit into perspective. We're living in, there's some really bad things happening, but we're living in pretty good times.
Right.
The medieval Europe those were bad times.
I think, there's a degree of myopic reflection in all of this. Many people believe the time that they're in is the worst of times without having the advantage of other people's time in existence. So, yes, I totally agree with you there.
Yeah. All right. It's an
interesting point of view. Thank you, sir. You got it. Before we go to break, let's take, do I have time? No, he's probably going to want a little more time. I'm going to take a moment with Craig, and then we'll get to some other phone calls as well. So, again, we still have Charlie Kirk in critical condition after being shot at a Utah event, a college where he was speaking, holding an event like he has always held. A suspect is in custody, and they are, I guess, at this particular point, just waiting for more and more information. We will have to wait like everybody else. Again, I say from the bottom of my heart, I hope and I pray, as many of you are, that indeed, he is safe and he is okay and he will recover. I don't want to come back from the break and hear something daunting or hear something, of course, like he didn't make it. So I am continuing my prayers as well should all of you. And again, I don't care what political leaning you are. Pray for him and his family. It is the right thing to do. Do not shake your head and say, nah, and all that other. No, do it. It is important for you to do it. no matter what you think about me or what you think about conservatives or what hell you think about Charlie Kirk. What happened to him is unthinkable and should happen to no one. Pray for him. Let's take a check of weather and traffic to get you home. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're westbound 84, you got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney Street. Again, some slow traffic as you move from exit 42 up to 39A in Farmington. You're back in some heavy stop and go again on the westbound side of 84. Look out for an accident just prior to 37 Slater or 36 Slater Road in New Britain. Left lane is blocked there. Delays are back to exit 38 behind that. Eastbound side of 84, you're slowing about a mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley. Southbound 91 slows by 35, again 33 down to 32A and B in Hartford, and another bump 27 down to 28. Slightly slow 91 southbound between 20 and 18 as you move down into Meriden. Northbound side of 91 moving well, Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West Merge. Also 2 westbounds a little tight by 4A in Glastonbury. 9 northbound's a little slow, Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. 9 northbound sluggish, 32 in Berlin up to 36 in New Britain. If you're heading toward Waterbury, 84 eastbound slowing by 18. And again, 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84, you're losing speed 22 to the Mixmaster. South 95 New Haven slowing 46 to 43. South 91 in New Haven's tight from 6 down in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Some sunshine out there for the rest of the afternoon. Looks like for the most part, we're going to stay dry. There could be a sprinkle in a couple of spots. Topping out in the mid-70s, and then we'll turn out mostly clear tonight. Down to 49. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine and warmer. We'll reach the low 80s. Should be dry tomorrow night and dry again on Friday. Mostly sunny, a little bit cooler again. The high 75. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Partly cloudy skies. Temperature is 72 degrees. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot today during an appearance at Utah Valley University. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
CBS News has learned a suspect is in custody now. This witness to the event.
I just saw him grab, it looked like his neck, and there's just blood pouring out everywhere. And his eyes kind of rolled back. And it was just one pop. And then we all dropped to the ground, and then they told us all to run.
Kirk was fielding questions from the crowd at the time of the shooting. The first of 2 flood mitigation meetings set for tonight in Waterbury. Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments is sponsoring the gathering at 6. Another meeting is set for Oxford on Thursday. Governor Lamont today announcing executive action to ensure COVID-19 vaccine access in light of action taken at the federal level. Several state agencies, including the Department of Public Health, Consumer Protection, and insurance departments, will all work in concert. Interim guidance will come from the Health Department, while DCP will provide guidance on distribution. Bottom line, Lamont says anyone in Connecticut that wants a shot will be able to get one. Millions of dollars headed to cities and towns for local road projects. They had a press conference at a DOT site in Newington today to make that announcement. Officials say it is the largest such investment in over 2 decades. And multiple Russian drones crossed the sea.
Shoot me! Shoot me! Was that you? We don't know if it's him or not.
To send fighter jets to shoot them down. On Wall Street, mixed bag for us. The Dow down 220 points. The NASDAQ gained 6 points. S&P up 19. They are in the bottom of the 3rd inning, all tied between the Red Sox and the A's. Later this evening, Yankees host the Tigers at the stadium. The Mets continue their series in Philly. And in the Eastern League, Yard Goats are winding up the 2025 campaign in Reading. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Who do I wrestle for? I wrestle on my high school team for Jason Garcia, my fiercest competitor during practice and my biggest fan during meets. I wrestle for my parents who practice what they preach. The importance of hard work, commitment, and dedication. I wrestle for the chance to put our little high school right here in Connecticut on the map.
Wearing the uniform of your high school comes with a big responsibility. Younger kids look up to you. Your teammates count on you. And the reputation of your high school depends on you. Do you have what it takes to participate in a high school sport?
And I wrestle for the glory that is mine when I do my best. That's who I wrestle for.
This message presented by the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference and the Connecticut Association of Athletic Directors.
Do you know a veteran in need? Many veterans struggle to find their way home because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who've served and their families for another 50. To get help, visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Now I have some time. Let me go to Craig in the car. How are you, sir?
Not great today, man. How are you?
I'm not. My wife is a mess. And it is a really, really hard time watching her go through this. She's really, really distraught. She is she's actually here now. And oh, goodness gracious. Okay, is that Newsmax or is that News Nation? Who is that? Real American Voice. Okay. 8 minutes ago. Okay, I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna I'm just because of the sourcing, just because it is. But anyway, Craig, you were saying, I was just saying that she's very distraught, and
give her a big hug from me.
I will.
You know, it took 15 minutes for all the false narratives to come out.
Yeah.
And I've heard them on your news broadcast. And I think the comment was something like he's known for getting into heated debates with the opposition. I've watched hundreds of hours of Charlie Kirk. I've never seen him get heated over anything.
Correct.
He's one of the most rational, logical people you're going to find online on either side.
Yeah.
And I just this Saturday, my buddies and I were sitting around and we were watching him have kind of a one-on-one debate with somebody that was going through the trans thing.
Okay.
And the thing he kept saying to that person was, I think it's going to turn out really bad for you, but I'm praying for you.
Wow.
That's the kind of person he is. I don't know, man. It's just, we've all got targets on our back, and it's not two-sided. I'm sorry. Don Lemon can walk around Midtown Manhattan with a microphone and come up to strangers and talk to them. He's not worried one bit for his.
And you know what? There's a very, very good point that you're saying about that. Did you drop your phone? Oops, hold on. I got loud real quick. We'll check with Craig in a second. Let's see whether he's there. You go. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. Don Lemon, perfect example. Because, and again, there is a sense, and we're talking about, remember, Don Lemon, who famously said when he had his CNN show that the most violent group of people are usually white and on the conservative side. And this guy walks around just like the most recent viral video that came out about him where the man from the UK had confronted him and called him a bleeping idiot. But he shook his hand and had a conversation with him, and not once did Don Lemon feel threatened or felt as though he was in some sort of danger of his life. He just had a dialogue with him. The guy clearly didn't like him and called him a jerk. But that you're 100% right. They know this. And that's never the case for conservatives. I know you use the term target on the back, but I'll go one step further than that. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate you, man. I got to take a break. Sorry. Let's go to another check of weather and traffic when we return. More news, more views. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC. Here's Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84, look for delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Again, some slow traffic from 44 out to exit 39A in Farmington. Then you're locked up again. We have an accident just prior to exit 36 Slater Road in New Britain. It's in the left lane, so you got delays back to exit 38 behind that. Stay right there. 84 eastbound, you're locked up about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. Southbound 91 slowing 33 to 32. Again, 27 down to 28. Again, some sluggish traffic, 19 down to exit 17 for the Wilbercross Parkway. Northbound 91 looking good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 through 84 okay. 2 westbound slowing 1D up to the 84 West merge. 2 eastbound is slowing off of I-84 out to exit 3 in East Hartford. If you're heading toward Middletown, both sides of 9 heavy approaching the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound slowing 32 in Berlin up to 36 in New Britain. If you're traveling on the eastbound side of 84 into Waterbury, slowing 17 to 18, again 26 down to the 691 interchange in Cheshire. And if you're heading 95 southbound in New Haven, delays 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Times clouds and sunshine out there for the rest of the afternoon. We'll top out in the low and mid 70s. Then skies will turn out clear for tonight. A little bit on the cool side, down to 49, and then mostly sunny and warmer for tomorrow. We're up into the low 80s. Still dry as we round out the work week on Friday. Mostly sunny, the high 75. Right now it's 72 in Canton, 75 in Newington, and it's 73 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Do you know a veteran in need? After leaving the military, many veterans struggle to find their way home. Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who've served and their families for another 50. To get help, visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
Making sense of it all and having fun. That's how we would sum up our show, Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. It's what happens when you take a Gen Xer, a millennial, and a baby boomer and give them a radio show.
We go through the news the same way you and your friends would, taking the serious stuff seriously while also laughing at the absurd.
Each one of us brings a unique perspective to the news of the day, closing the generation gap in a way no other talk show can. Hear Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins weeknights 6 until 9 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080. God,
I love technology.
Eric Semmel and Dennis Halnan of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions live on the air. Miss a program? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the Radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
My apologies. I'm not, I cannot report on the news that although there are 3 sources that are reporting this, I'm just not going to say until we have absolutely confirmed. I do not want to get ahead of myself. Right now, the official statement is, and that is coming from Turning Point USA, is that Charlie Kirk is in critical condition. Others are reporting otherwise. Until that is confirmed, I am not stating it here. My wife has been in here 3 or 4 times, grabbing other news sources to find out if indeed it is a fact. They are. So we're just checking until there's an official word. We're just not reporting anything as of yet. Let's go to Kim in North Connecticut. Hello, Kim.
Hey, Reese. Well, I used to listen to your station from 9 in the morning till 6 in the evening, but I only listen to your show now
Roger,
because
call
of
line.
the changes.
Oh, sorry.
But so I listen to yours, but not. And of course, that's because of the Soros Satan takeover. But here's what I want to say is I watched instead Steve Bannon on Real America's Voice, and right after was Charlie Kirk. And that's where his show comes from, from Real America's Voice. They are all confirming that he has passed away, 31, and they are all upset, crying. And my friend in Florida's mother in her 80s is crying too. So was I. It was very, very sad. He was very effective, and I just want you to put some things together. First of all, he was very effective with the election and the young people in the universities.
Right.
We know for sure these universities now will say, oh, we're not going to have any more political, people on the campus.
Yeah.
And this is how you cut down on speech. And words are the bearers of speech, right? Speech is a bearer of thought, right? So, and you're cutting down on thought. And Charlie was very good at getting thoughts out that really needed to be presented.
Indeed.
So he, as far as activism goes, let me just tell you, from reading Soros for about 20 years now, Soros was talking about activism and getting our people to be activists, his people, the left-loon Marxists.
Right.
So using demonstrations, using manipulation, using street performance, chaos, right?
Yeah.
And riots, destruction, and violence. That's what they meant by activists. So Charlie Kirk comes along and starts an activist program, which is using that horrible thing called rhetoric, and verbalization. And he used logic as well. And that's what we presented. So you get people who say he was divisive. He was presenting other ideas, and all the left has to do is say, present better ideas, but they never could.
Yeah.
And that's why Charlie Kirk was an effective advocate for logic, for law and order, for our rights and things like that. And he made great sense in every way. And you know what, the last thing I just want to say, do you remember when Joan Rivers, I believe she died by her mouth. She started speaking about
Michelle Obama. Yeah.
And trainees.
Right.
And then she dies by her mouth. She goes into a dentist who pretty much, what is it, asphyxiation she dies by?
Yeah.
And the guy's taking pictures of her as she's dying and dead, right? Incredible. And I have warned your station for years that the people on the left, the Marxists, are high risk takers. They're also they have like a poetic justice or literary belief that if you start talking bad, it's violence. Speech is violence, and therefore you're supposed to take the ultimate penalty for speaking violence or speech, right? So, and this is, again, he was shot in the neck. Charlie was shot in the neck.
Yeah.
That's certainly whether he survived or not was going to affect speech and thought.
Yeah, I think
So
and as I said earlier, Kim, the point that I was making about this was that, people are under the impression that this was about, taking out Charlie Kirk. As you just expressed, what they are trying to eliminate is his influence because he was effective. The same was the case with Donald Trump on July 13th last year. It is to remove the influence by using the man. And what they don't understand in that is, by their own logic, was what I said earlier, by their own logic, what did they tell us about terrorism? They said that if we attacked Islam, or if we attacked Muslims in any way, that their faction would only grow. But they completely went the other route when it came to conservatism. They attacked conservatism, not expecting, and what can only happen for this. Yes, and they have officially announced it, yes. They have officially, the objective for them is to try to squash any effective leadership in that faction. But what happens is it only grows, and that's what's going to happen from this. And I got to move on because I'm sorry, but it is official. And thank you. No, Kim, Kim, unfortunately.
I think he's demented.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sorry to report, folks. It is official. Charlie Kirk has been announced dead. And that he did not survive that bullet wound. I think that it was a lot. Honey, sweetie, my wife is absolutely distraught right now. And I'm sorry for his family. I am really, really sorry for his family. And it's a very, very somber day today. I don't know. It is incredibly hard to be hopeful. And I know that's what you're thinking now. And I know anger is easy. It is easy. But if I can, I'm going to do something in the next couple of minutes. And if you'll allow me to do it, I'll try not to make it too long. But let me just say what's on my mind. Anger is always about fear. It is always about fear. And for those of us who followed Charlie Kirk and understood exactly what he meant to conservatism and to dialogue, know that his work was never and will never be in vain. College kids, young people who went to his events, who became conservatives because of him, people who were on the fence, or people who debated him, who went back and forth with him at those events, walked away having had a respectful dialogue with him. And their hearts are affected by this. Having met him, talked to him, heard him pray for them. His life galvanized people. His death will do that tenfold. Do not fret. It is difficult at a time like this to look into this and find a silver lining. I understand that. I understand that all you want to do is to be angry at the other side and to place blame on people and their rhetoric. Right now, they're probably going to be writing vicious, evil, mean things about guys like Van Jones, who just days ago said things about Charlie Kirk that were reprehensible. No need. No need. Charlie Kirk was always bigger and more influential, more thoughtful, insightful than Van Jones could ever be. Van Jones is regretting everything he's ever said about that man in this moment. He will try everything in his power to repent. That's where this is. And as much as people might want to or might need to come up with excuses for this violent attack, for this murder of this man, do not listen to them. Do not let them incite you. Their objective is to get you so angry that you need to retaliate so that you forget the memory of Charlie Kirk. That is their objective now. Make you angry, make you retaliate, make you act out instead of empower yourselves and the message of Charlie Kirk. You have to galvanize right now. Believe it or not, and I rarely use this word. Charlie Kirk is martyred because he was killed for his political beliefs. And those who are shaming him, saying ungodly things about him on other networks and online, those folks can only make his name, make his memory brighter. Children lost their father. A woman lost her husband. He built something. He built a movement. He did. And it shouldn't go in vain, because anything that anybody reacts to negatively, it destroys it. It dies like that. It dies with him. So now you have to ask yourself, as a human being, where are you? Yeah, keep your head on the swivel. Absolutely. Yes, do understand that there are violent people out there. Yes, understand that people who are ideologically against you, some of them do not know how to contain their behavior or to act like civil people. We know it. We've talked about it on these airwaves over and over again. But what you do now either builds his legacy and what you believe in, or it dies today. You have to choose which one you want. And if I can go back to my earlier statement at the beginning of the show, don't be Timmy with the cookie jar. Don't be Timmy with the cookie jar. Do not say that because they killed Charlie Kirk, that now you must act out. That is not rational. If you believed in Charlie Kirk in life, believe with him in his passing. If you are true to what he believed in, that's what you need to do. It is the only answer to this. That's what you have to do. I wish, as we all do, that this didn't happen. I wish we didn't have to be on the air for something like this to happen, but we're here. Say a prayer. Pray for your family. Pray for his family. Just pray. Don't let this be the end. Just don't. Don't let it be the end. I don't even know what to tell you. I mean, I look at this and I want to be angry. I feel it. I feel the anger. But I choose not to. I can choose. I used to say to my ex-wife, she always laughs at me when we bring it up. When I got sober, I was probably really wet behind the ears, probably my first year in. I said to my ex-wife, Mary, I said, you know, you can choose to be happy. And she said, when I first told her that, she used to be so mad. She'd be like, what the blank are you talking about? I can just choose to be angry. Nobody can just choose to be happy. You can't just do that. Until she did. I talked about her today, and she still reminds me. I woke up happy today because I chose to. You could be overcome with grief. That's okay. But just don't be overcome with anger. You don't even know who the man is who shot him, or woman for that matter, but you don't know who they are. That's the person, if you have any anger towards, that's the person who carried out the action. Don't spread it out to other people because you need somebody to scapegoat. That's how this thing has worked on the other side for the longest. For them losing an election, not being in charge of Congress, not having the Supreme Court. They found their foil. You can't answer them by being more like them. Doesn't work. It's got to be a better way. And I'm not saying to lay down. No. But by the way, just nobody think. Never would I tell anybody to lay down. But now you understand that what you believe in, you can either run and hide or stand tall. That is a choice. I choose to stand tall. So, pay no minds to the ridiculous comments that you see in the chat room. I just read one. It shows indeed how stupid people are. They are truly stupid. And I know what it means. It means that deep down, they wanted this to happen and they are happy about it. Because anybody in their right mind would make excuses for it. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Let's get the weather and traffic. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, westbound 84, you're looking at delays now approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to exit 40 Corbin Corner in West Hartford. Delays again 38 to 37. Earlier accident by 36 Slater Road has cleared from the left lane. Eastbound 84 is locked up a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley. Southbound 91 slows 33 down to 32 A and B, and again 27 to 28. Northbound 91 moving well Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. It's slowing a little bit 35 to 36 in Windsor. 291 eastbound is slowing I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound slowing coming off of I-84 out to exit 3. If you're traveling into Middletown, both sides of 9 heavy at the Aragoni. 9 northbound sluggish traffic 32 in Berlin up to 36 in New Britain. 84 eastbound Waterbury slowing by 18. A little slow traffic again in Cheshire from 26 down to the 691 interchange. Southbound Parkway, you've got delays 60 down into the West Rock Tunnel, and 91 southbound. Look out for some slow traffic from 8 down to exit 6 in New Haven. Looks like we have an accident in that area. South 95 New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Charlie Kirk, who is a WTIC weather.
We will often get some pretty long stretches of dry weather in autumn across our region. And looks like we're in the middle of one of those stretches right now. There has been a couple of showers along the coast this morning into the afternoon, but most places have been rain-free, and for the most part, we're going to stay dry out there this afternoon with some sun. We'll top out in the mid-70s, and we turn out mostly clear tonight, a little bit on the cool side, down to 49, and mostly sunny and warmer for tomorrow. We're up into the low 80s, and then a little cooler again on Friday, but it's still going to be nice, mostly sunny, a high 75. For the most part, it looks like the weekend starts out very nice. With some sunshine, we'll top out at 77 on Saturday. Next storm approaches from the north and west Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday, there could be a shower or thunderstorm. We'll top out in the mid-70s. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Charlie Kirk has died. Here's the latest from CBS News.
Special report. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been killed. Sources have confirmed that to CBS News, and President Trump has also posted it on social media. Kirk was shot while speaking at Utah Valley University this afternoon. It was the first stop on his new tour. One shot was fired into his neck. Kirk was a co-founder of Turning Point USA, which is widely considered the most influential conservative youth organization in the country. He allows people in the audience to ask him political questions, something this man says he had just done before the shooting.
After I got done talking to him, I really couldn't exit because there's such a big crowd. So I turned around, and like 10 to 20 seconds later after I got done talking to Charlie, I saw that he was shot in the neck and that he was squirting blood everywhere.
A person who was taken into custody has been released and is not believed to be the shooter. Charlie Kirk, dead at the age of 31. CBS News Special Report. I'm Matt Piper.
Reaction to the shooting coming in from Connecticut leaders. State Senate GOP leader Steve Harding said, quote, "This was a sick, disgusting, cowardly act of evil. We condemn any and all political violence." Greenwich Republican State Senator and gubernatorial candidate Ryan Fazio said this was, quote, "a dreadful moment. Political violence to America and in America can never be condoned." Governor Lamont said political violence of any kind has no place in our country and is not acceptable. And State Democratic Party Chair Roberto Alves said they strongly condemn the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Police in suburban Denver investigating a shooting that left 3 students critically wounded. Allison Keyes has that story.
3 students from Evergreen High School were shot just after noon on school grounds. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says multiple teams of law enforcement cleared the school room by room. Video shows students exiting the school in single file.
Many 9/11 families have new hope for justice after a federal judge recently said their lawsuit against Saudi Arabia can go to trial. The judge agreed with the families that there's credible evidence that the kingdom supported the hijackers in the U.S. leading up to the attacks. Brett Eagleson of Middletown, whose father was killed on 9/11, says the U.S. government, through several administrations, has not been supportive of discovery in the case.
We are patriotic people and we love the country. However, what our government has done to us is despicable. And to know that your government doesn't have your back when you love your country so much is a shame.
Eagleson's organization, 9/11 Families United, says the FBI buried evidence of Saudi Arabia's role. With the federal government saying it's rolling back public access to the COVID vaccine, Governor Lamont is trying to make sure the shots remain available to all Connecticut residents. His new executive actions say the vaccine remains available to all, despite the feds restricting eligibility for otherwise healthy adults from age 18 to 65. The governor says the policy aligns with those of bordering states.
What I wanted to do was speak with one voice along with New York and Massachusetts, saying, this is our guidance, this is what I think you should do, these are ways I think you can get it done, and I think the national pharmacy people are trying to get that balance now.
State says as long as the COVID vaccine is available here, insurance companies must cover it, regardless of federal government rulings. Wall Street, the Dow down 220 points today. NASDAQ gained 6. S&P was up 19. For these stories and more, keep it here at WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Do you know a veteran in need? After leaving the military, many veterans struggle to find their way home. Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who've served and their families for another 50. To get help, visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, we're back. It is it's a tough day today. This will dominate the news for a long time. As I would expect, it's something we're going to cover with the remaining days of this week, primarily because we need to get to the bottom of the heinous act that happened. It is fair to say that Charlie Kirk was assassinated today. And the reason why I say that is he held no political office, but he was a thought leader. He was a person who went out and spoke to people, influenced them politically, socially. He was trying to bring the masses, especially young people in college, to Jesus Christ, of all things. He believed in truth. He believed in righteousness. And someone took his life because of those beliefs, regardless of people using terms like hate speech. Because, again, if there is anybody, and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, if you've ever listened to Charlie Kirk, and by the way, if you never have and you think what he spread was hate speech, we know you're lying, just so you know. If you think that you'll be able to suggest that what Charlie Kirk believed in or preached was hate speech, all of us know you're lying. That man is still a viral sensation. Millions of views by people who don't like him as well as those who do. He is a viral sensation when it comes to politics and social values, all of those things. The moral fiber of us as a people, as Americans. So if there's anybody out there who says that he spewed hate speech and then you ask them, tell me the hate speech, they could not, and they would have a difficult time trying. So please forget about what they're doing over at the ridiculous news stations. As I said yesterday, nobody listens. Nobody listens. Please pay no mind to that. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. We'll try to continue on with the show before we get up out of here. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84, look for delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. Again, some sluggish traffic from exit 42 out to exit 38 in Farmington. Eastbound side of 84 slows about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. A little tight again, 58 out to 59 into 384 interchange. Southbound 91 delays 33 to 32, again 27 to 28. And some sluggish traffic approaching 19 down to 18 in Meriden. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown. A little slow up in Windsor, 35 up to 36. 291 eastbound's tight from I-91 over to the Bicester Bridge. If you're traveling to eastbound, that is tight.
And he was incredibly positive. He was full of energy and life.
Middletown, 9 southbound delays. Cromwell Middletown line to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 northbound, some slow traffic. 32 in Berlin up to 34 in New Britain. 84 eastbound by 18 in Waterbury is slow. 84 eastbound Cheshire slows 26 down to 27. And the 691 interchange. If you are traveling southbound on the Wilbur Cross Parkway, look for delays now from exit 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. Northbound Parkway slowing 59 into the tunnel. And if you're traveling 91 southbound, look out for an accident down by exit 7 on 91 south. The laser approaching exit 8 behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
The skies are clearing out across the area, and we'll have a mostly clear sky for tonight. A little bit on the cool side. We'll dip back into the upper 40s. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, a little bit warmer. We're up near 80 in the afternoon. Partly cloudy tomorrow night, the low 54. A little bit cooler on Friday, but comfortable. We'll have plenty of sunshine. The high up to 75, and the dry weather continues as we head into Saturday. Right now, it's 70 in Waterbury, 74 in Wallingford, and it's 75 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
This is an important public service announcement for our listeners. Reese on the Radio is also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Reese on the Radio, and hit the follow button so you can get every minute of the show your way and on your time. Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
God, I love technology.
Eric Semmel and Dennis Howland of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions live on the air. Miss a program? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. Sunscreen and
You got
other
it.
safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad. Healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
The NAACP calls him, whoa! I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
And they will not be fans ever. Never, ever will I like them being fans. I want to play this because this is exactly where we are in our society. And I really need people to hear some of these things because you really have to understand the mindset of what is spewed in our society.
Even the most liberal, well-intentioned white person has a virus in his or her brain that can be activated at an instant. And so what you're seeing now is a curtain falling away. And those of us who have been burdened by this every minute, every second of our entire lives are fragile right now.
There have been a lot of people in this business who have pundits, the whole punditry area, who have made their bones by saying the most inflammatory things. And Van Jones, perfect example of that. That's him after George Floyd, saying that even liberals have a virus in their brain that triggers from time and time again that causes them to do something racist. Even the most liberal. Now, everybody knows that that's nonsense, but not one person challenged him on it. It's free-flowing. Just go on and say that. That's what they are hired to do. It's not entertaining on those networks unless they get a viral moment like that. The reason why I have that audio and video is because it is meant to do exactly what it is. No matter how ridiculous, it is there for that purpose. To say the most outlandish things that make no sense.
I want to be clear that, like, law enforcement isn't to prevent crime. Law enforcement solves crime, okay? That is what they are supposed to do. They are supposed to solve crimes, not necessarily prevent them from happening, per se.
Now, you ask yourselves, like, no, nobody is that stupid. Yes, of course they are. Sure they are. Jasmine Crockett is as dumb as it gets, okay? You know, some people say that she's as dumb as a bag of rocks. I could put the bag of rocks through college and it would do better.
I'm not concerned that he's an unintelligent man. I know he's unintelligent. That part is clear. But, like, I'm wondering also, like, is it dementia Don that we're getting? Is it just dumb Don that we're getting? Like, I don't know, but there is a problem. Like, Houston, we have a problem.
So, will you take the test?
Listen, my constituents don't have any concerns, but if he wants to do a test, yeah, so long as it's real people that's administering, not the bootleg doctors that claim he was perfect.
Yeah, the idiot Jasmine Crockett talking about taking a cognitive test against Donald Trump. This is the stupidity that you are hearing on the airwaves. You know what? Think about that, because I know I'm watching you all online here. I'm watching you on X post the stupid stuff on MSNBC and CNN. Can you believe that this person says that? People calling for other people's firings? Do you think that the brass is sitting there going, oh, that's absolutely reprehensible, Katie Durr. You come into my office right now. No. They're in the office salivating. Look at how much attention you're getting online, Katie. We need to get more people on there like that. You're going viral. People are watching. Yes, it's sick. Yes, it's sadistic. Of course it is. Of course it is. But remember, you can't put currency in that. I don't. I love it. I play it for you all the time. And why do I play it? Only for you to recognize that you're not dealing with people who are, playing with a full deck. Thank you, Lori. Clickbait. But they're not. These people aren't operating with a full deck. Nothing they believe is rational. Everything that comes out of their minds is ridiculous, or their mouths for that matter, is ridiculous. It makes no sense. So you don't let all of the nonsense get to you. Don't let any of that stuff get you down. You're going to see the usual people coming up and say, you know, they regret what happened. They feel bad. And this kind of rhetoric cannot stand. And then they'll wait a couple of days later and they'll scream Hitler and fascist after the tide goes or the temperature is down. This is one of those moments where, you know, as we reflect, we have to start thinking about things. And I immediately started thinking about it. I try to be a thoughtful person. I don't know if I always succeed, but I try, specifically for this program. And one of the hardest parts of this show today is because I can't do the stuff that I wanted to do because we have to deal with this, and I got to do it in another 40 minutes. I got to do another 40 minutes worth of it. And I've got to keep it fresh, and I got to keep it new, and I got to keep you here. And as more and more reports come in, and hopefully that they do, maybe we get the guy, because apparently they do not have the person in custody. They said that they did. They showed a person who was in custody. It looks like they do not. The FBI is on its way into Utah. Hopefully this guy did not get far. Anyway, that being said, while I'm thinking about all of this, and again, trying to be a thoughtful person, I'm saying to myself, with all of the rhetoric that you're seeing on MSNBC, with all of the rhetoric that you're seeing online, the rhetoric that's on CNN, the words that are being spoken, the vicious, vile things that are being said online by people who are supposed to have jobs in the news media, who cannot contain their glee in blaming Charlie Kirk for someone killing him. I want you to think about something. Who thinks that this draws attention in a positive way to them? Who thinks that this wins hearts and minds? Who here believes that? Oh, yeah, there's some sick puppies out there. I got you. I'm with you all the way. Yes, Reese. There are sick people out there. Yep, agree. But who do you believe is now saying that what we need to do is to fight back against more? That we need to turn up the heat? Who believes that after what they've witnessed, what people you know are going to see online? After they see the outpouring of grief and people who are sad, who's going to revel in that? I would love to see who thinks that the winning message here comes out of this. It doesn't. It doesn't. You really have to believe in your hearts and minds that you know what, Reese, there are just so many more evil, vicious people in the world than there are good. Well, I will push back on that. Let me say something provocative. Why are we here? Why was Charlie Kirk on the first leg of a tour where legions of kids went to go see? Why was he doing that? Because his message was resonating. Why was he out there in the first place if no one was listening to him? What do you think happens now? Do you think those kids now just turn around and they just go, oh, I guess no need? To them, it's personal. To them, it's like, I'm being attacked for what I believe and what I think. That's unheard of. What world are we living in that I cannot enjoy my own way of life? Other people saying that, look, I don't agree with people who agree with Charlie Kirk. Or I don't agree with people who might be MAGA folks, but I don't think I called for this. And anybody who would celebrate it, I don't know if I can align with them. I know that you're seeing that in other places. You see it in a lot of places. You're asking yourself, are Democrats really running around the streets protecting illegals who have hurt kids, who sell drugs, who traffic in people and children? Are they really standing for those? And you're going, God, those people are evil. Knowing damn well that it has nothing to do with them being evil For them, it's nothing more than placating. It's nothing more than performative. It's looking like you care when you know damn well, quietly, you wouldn't allow those people in your neighborhood. Knowing damn well you wouldn't allow those people in your house, your country club. You wouldn't even allow them in your yard. But politically, you've got to look like, yeah, man, those people are just trying to get ahead. They know sometimes they got to go home and take a really, really hot shower because there's a lot of dirt, a lot of sliminess that goes with doing that. Don't think that I don't know, and don't think that they don't know. And I know who you are, Democrats. I know exactly who you are. Those of you right now who are scrambling to get a statement out, this is absolutely abhorrent. This is absolutely so vile. We have to be better people. We have to do this and we have to do that. Why? Because you see the ugliness in this. Unless the original is true. It's all performative. And deep down, you don't care. Hell, in some ways, you might even celebrate. But I don't think that's true either. This couldn't possibly win you any votes. Look, I'm going to say this. I'll go one deeper. Let's go a little deep here. I was reading the book Fight, 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 or Fight is what it's called. I was reading that book. Okay, I'm lying. I was listening to the audiobook. Everybody knows I wasn't reading it. And one of the Biden staffers was watching CNN at his mother's home. He went to go visit his mom, and he's sitting and eating at the dining room table. He looks over, and he sees the TV. And he sees the report on the news. He's watching CNN. And he hears that Donald Trump has been shot last year, July 13th. And he stood up from the table and walked over towards the television. He stood right in front of it. Everybody knows that your mama hates it when you do that. It'll hurt your eyes. Get away. But he stood there anyway. And he looked at the news report, saw Donald Trump go down, saw Donald Trump jump up, saw him put his fist in the air and say, fight, fight, fight. And the words out of that Biden staffer said, oh no, he's going to win. Think about that. Charlie Kirk wouldn't hurt a fly. They know it. That's why they're fighting so hard to smear him, to talk about his speech, talk about his so-called hate speech. Why else would they do it? Hoping that people see through the truth of who he is. Right now, people who have never heard of him are going on YouTube or going on X to watch videos about him, to listen to him. More and more people are going to know about Charlie Kirk than they ever did before. He was already a firebrand. And dare I say it, he's a legend now. As the president said in his remarks, he's a legend now. I understand that the president is flying the American flag at half-staff. There's a video of it now on Fox News. There's an outpouring on plenty of networks, even CNN for that matter. Scott Jennings is talking about his friend. And he said, quote, well, Charlie was one of the most unique and special people in the conservative movement today. What he was able to build, the people he was able to organize, was just so large and powerful. He was able to convince people to get involved in politics. that might not have otherwise done so. When you look at what he did on these campuses and in these public events, thousands of people were showing up, not for a rock concert, not for a sporting event, but for American politics. He inspired all these kids to be involved in their country. This is unequivocal a good legacy, sorry. He was also a godly person. He spoke about his faith openly. He was unapologetic about his views. I think it's what's been said about Charlie King having his hand on the finger of the pulse of the MAGA base is true. But what's also true is that he was enormously influential in that when an issue was emerging, when something was happening, and people were sorting out their own lives on it, how should I feel about this? Charlie was one of the first people they turned to. That is an inspiring message. Let's get some weather and traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the westbound side of 84. Look for delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. You'll see some more sluggish traffic again from exit 38 in Farmington down to 33 in Plainville. If you are traveling on the eastbound side of 84, look for delays. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley, a little tight again, 58 out to 59 in the 384 interchange. Southbound 91 slows, Hartford 33 to 32. Again, 27 down to 28. You'll see some sluggish traffic again from 20 in Middletown down to 19 in Meriden. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell into Hartford, we are seeing some delays. 91 northbound between 35 and exit 37 in Windsor. Route 2 eastbound's heavy off of I-84 in East Hartford out to exit 3. If you're traveling into Middletown, 9 southbound's a little slow at the Oregoni. 9 northbound slowing by 32 in Berlin. If you're traveling into Waterbury, 84 eastbound, some slow traffic by 18. Again, 84 eastbound sluggish from 26 down to the 691 interchange. Heading toward New Haven. Southbound 91, we have an accident down by exit 6 in New Haven. The left and left center lanes are blocked there. Delays are back to exit 8. Southbound on the Parkway, you've got delays from 61 in Hamden down to 59 in New Haven. A crash is reported there. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine for the rest of the afternoon. Nothing more than a brief sprinkle or shower. That's more likely going to be right along the Connecticut coast. We'll top out in the mid-70s, and we turn out mostly clear tonight down to 49. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a little bit warmer. We're up into the low 80s. And Friday, sunshine and nice, a little bit cooler again, a high 75. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30, Hartford temperature 72 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. In Utah today,
the conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot in the neck during an event at Utah Valley University earlier this afternoon.
Correspondent Maurice Dubois, CBS's Anna Schechter, says it's a complex investigation.
In a situation like this where you had so many people in an open air space, lots of chaos right as soon as that shot was fired, people running every which way, dropping items, very difficult to figure out where exactly that shot came from and where the shooter might have fled to.
That's CBS's, again, Anna Schechter. Charlie Kirk was 31 years old. Flags across the state lowered to half-staff from sunrise to sunset tomorrow. Mark 24 years since the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks on the U.S. In addition, Governor Lamont says the Pearl Harbor Memorial Bridge along Interstate 95 in New Haven will be illuminated in red, white, and blue tonight and Thursday night. Lamont also today announced executive action taken to ensure COVID-19 vaccine access. In light of action that's been taken at the federal level, several state agencies, including the Department of Health, Consumer Protection, and Insurance Department, will work in concert. Interim guidance will come from DPH, while DCP will provide guidance on distribution. Millions of dollars headed to cities and towns for local road projects at a press conference today at a DOT site in Newington. They made that announcement. Officials say it is the largest such investment in over a decade. Some $80 million earmarked to all 169 cities and towns for the next 2 fiscal years. Tonight is the first of 2 meetings on flood mitigations being held by the Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments. The valley, of course, the site of flooding for decades, most recently last year, in which 2 people died. Homes and roads were destroyed. Tonight's initial meeting to be held in Waterbury gets underway at about a half an hour at 6 o'clock. On Wall Street, the Dow finished down 220 points today. The NASDAQ was up 6. S&P gained 19 points. They're at the top of the 7th, and the A's lead the Red Sox 4-3. Yanks try to bounce back from last night's disaster against the Tigers at the stadium, and the Mets will try to get one in Philly. Eastern League, Yard Goats at Richmond, 6:35 on the Odyssey app, and in the WNBA, Atlanta Dream face the Connecticut Sun at Mohegan. For these stories and more, keep it here at WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is an important public service announcement for our listeners. Brian and Company is also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Brian and Company, and hit the follow button so you can get every minute of the show your way and on your time.
Making sense of it all and having fun. That's how we would sum up our show. Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. It's what happens when you take a Gen Xer, a millennial, and a baby boomer and give them a radio show.
We go through the news the same way you and your friends would, taking the serious stuff seriously while also laughing at the absurd.
Each one of us brings a unique perspective to the news of the day, closing the generation gap in a way no other talk show can. Hear Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins weeknights 6 until 9 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
You know, David Chilean of CNN is now begging liberals and viewers of CNN to knock it off with the admonishment of Charlie Kirk while they're covering the story, begging them. Now, David Chilean is an interesting character. For those of you who might know, David Chilean was the news guy, one of the lead news anchors over at Yahoo News during the 2012 election. And you might remember Hurricane Sandy happened during those events. And David Chilean was caught on a hot mic talking about Mitt Romney, who suspended his campaign and then went to like soup kitchens and things like that because he wanted to help people. David Chilean was caught on a hot mic while he was broadcasting, saying that the Romneys didn't care about black people drowning. And Chilean was immediately fired for that. And then, of course, years later, got a job over at CNN, which is where he is now. And he is begging liberals, do not make this political. Too late. David, what do you think he was shot for? Over a parking space? Is that what you think? Everybody knows what this was about. So do you. So does everyone else. But they can't help but make it political. CNN went so far as to say that, you know, now Donald Trump is going to seize on this. Now, I want you to think about that. Why would they be so concerned? Shouldn't everybody seize on this? Shouldn't everybody be outraged? Or is that just for us? Us conservatives, should everybody else just not? And what would be the so-called threat if Donald Trump were to seize on it? Other than to make you look bad, which is where you expose yourself. Keep trying to tell these people, sometimes it's important to shut up. It is. But some people can't help themselves. More check of the weather and traffic. Bob Larson's got weather. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Then we'll wrap it up. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84, you got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to exit 45, Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound is slowing. Look out for an accident between exit 44 and exit 46 on the eastbound side of I-84, and that is going to be taking out the left and center lanes there, so stay to the right. Once you get around that, you'll slow again, 46 Sisson Avenue down to the Bulkley, and some tight traffic again, 58 up to 59, and the 384 interchange. Southbound 91 delays 33 to 32, again 27 down to 28. Another sluggish stretch of traffic from 20 in Middletown down to 19 in Meriden. Northbound 91, that's moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 eastbound's a little slow coming off of I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. If you're traveling to eastbound, a little tight coming off of I-84 out to exit 3 in East Hartford. Middletown looks good, 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound in Cheshire, a little slow, 26 down to the 691 interchange. Traveling southbound on the Parkway, look out for an accident down by exit 59 in New Haven. Delays are back to exit 61 in Hamden. And southbound 91 in New Haven, we have an accident down by exit 6. The left and left center lanes are blocked there. Stay to the right. Delays are pushing back toward exit 9 behind that in North Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
We're seeing skies gradually clear out across the region. We'll have a mostly clear sky for tonight. A little bit on the cool side, down to 48. Then for tomorrow, warmer, plenty of sunshine. Top out right around 80. Then partly cloudy tomorrow night, the low 54. Friday, sunshine, a little bit cooler but comfortable. A high 75, and the dry weather continues on Saturday. Right now, it's 72 in Manchester, 73 in New Britain, and it's 73 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
God, I love technology.
Eric Semmel and Dennis Howland of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions live on the air. Miss a program? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab. Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I can't.
Oh, a minute.
No.
Okay, seriously. Now there's absolutely no excuse not to listen to WTIC News Talk 1080. You can literally hear us anywhere when you listen on your smartphone. And now you can hear us on the Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and the TuneIn app. So pick your favorite and search and follow WTIC News Talk 1080 in the app. Then listen wherever you are. It's really that easy. So no more,
I can't get the signal.
we've made it easy. WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Did we just go up? No? Maybe not.
Making sense of it all and having fun. That's how we would sum up our show. Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. It's what happens when you take a Gen Xer, a millennial, and a baby boomer and give them a radio show.
We go through the news the same way you and your friends would, taking the serious stuff, seriously, while also laughing at the absurd.
Each one of us brings a unique perspective to the news of the day, closing the generation gap in a way no other talk show can. Hear Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins weeknights 6 until 9 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, folks. We have got to wrap this up. This will be a long, long night as more and more reports come in. And, of course, the manhunt begins for the person who assassinated Charlie Kirk today in an event in Utah. It will be talked about. I believe that this is a conversation that is going to last for a long time. I want people to think about this. I really, really do. Charlie Kirk really did understand what this took and what this was about. He spoke extensively about violence against conservatives. He understood it. He probably did know that there were sights on him because of what he was doing and the power of his words and his influence. I do not think he did not know. The writing is on the wall. We have seen it. The numbers or the actions that have been taken by individuals in recent years are plentiful. It is right there inside. It was his job as a political commentator, a pundit, if you will, on all the shows, talking about the events of the day, violence that we see often. As he talked about the Ukrainian young lady, Irina, after her death, he understood that it was a violent world. But in spite of all of that, he still did what he did. He still went out there. And there are many others like him who are often under that same threat. You know their names. Outside of Charlie Kirk, there are people like James O'Keefe, whose business it is to keep everyone honest, to expose the truth. You know who they are, the folks over at Project Veritas. They do the job that they know the rest of media will not do. And they have decided that they are going to put their life and their limb on the line in order to do it. Do they profit? Sure they do. They are compensated well in many cases for the work that they do. But it comes at great risk. And I think, if we're really thinking about it, whatever they are compensated, it is a fair trade. I don't know what this means for a lot of people who are activists, political. I don't know what this means for people who do events who may be controversial. Yes, yours truly included. But I got to be honest with you. Maybe I'm different. Maybe. And I know some other people out there are just as different. But I think we just all got our marching orders. I am certain we all got our marching orders. If it's going to be anything, at the end of the day, if God decides, let it be for something noble. I don't want it to be skydiving in Madagascar. I don't know. I don't want it to be that. I don't know why, but I'm looking at Charlie Kirk, as sad as I am, and trust me, I am so sad, but I'm not going to make this about me. But I look at it, and I am galvanized. I understand the importance of what needs to be done because the objective was to kill it. That's what that was all about. That's what today was all about. It was about killing what we know was right and was righteous. And what that person did cannot be lasting. It cannot be the end. It can't. For no one. For no one. The easy part, again, is to be mad. I can't be mad. It's a dumb answer to this for me. I am sad. I can't help but be sad. That's just it. It's just like I didn't even know Charlie Kirk. I'd never met him at all. I know people who know him, but I don't even know the guy. I got no pictures to post, as a lot of people are doing, showing their pictures of hanging out with Charlie Kirk. Other people posting ridiculous memes like, we will not be sending our condolences. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody gives a damn if you're not sending out condolences. Are you really trying to get notoriety over a dead man? How ridiculous do you look? And by the way, folks, if you're out there reposting a nobody's post making fun of the death of Charlie Kirk, you're amplifying an idiot and a nobody. I wouldn't make them famous. I would keep them in that little hole they stay in. What for? What, you want them to get fired? Somebody else will hire them. They'll move on and you'll forget about them. Let them go. Sometimes you have to let the idiots play. After a while, they run into traffic. Let them. It's not your job. I see these idiots for who they are. I understand them. They're meaningless. They're pointless. No one ever cared. And they think they're going to get some sort of, I don't know, notoriety, friendship, likes, because it's all about those. Look how many people liked my abhorrent comment. Look how many people liked my vile statement. Aren't I funny? It's just ridiculous. Donald, with all due respect, I don't care what you think. Do you really? I mean, you got to understand this. Like, Donald is doing everything in the chat room to make this about, well, they do it on the other side too. Did you miss my opening monologue, sir? That is a child's answer. If it was the other side, they do it too. Grow up. Did you witness a tragedy today? Did you witness violence on a man who loved God and his family? Did you witness him get snuffed out online by a stranger from 200 yards away? Did you witness that? Does that upset you? That does cause you pain, grief, sadness? That a man would be murdered in broad daylight in front of witnesses? That someone would be so vile behind somebody's words that they decided to kill him? That you couldn't take one moment to say, I grieve for the affected family and friends? Instead, you are bloviating about what your position is on guns? You are not virtuous, sir. You are not prudent. Sir, you are vile. You can't find a moment of grace. Take a moment. Don't tell me that you value life. I don't care if you value life. Value it. You don't need to make that provocation to me. You don't need to tell me that you value life. I don't care if you value life. Value it. What do you want, a medal? What do you want, a cookie? You want to be told? You want to be pat on the head? You value life? Good boy. Value it. Stop waiting for somebody to recognize you for it. It is a natural reaction to someone's murder. Having to proclaim that you value life means that you have to, that people don't already know that it isn't a mainstay. Your actions should speak. Your reputation should precede you. People should know right off the bat that Don guy, he respects life. Just use your head. But deep down inside, you cannot. You can't. And there are people out there who cannot and won't. You just have to again, take a beat. It's incumbent upon you to take a second. Charlie Kirk is dead. And what are you trying to do? Score points on a chat room? Do better. You can be better than that. It takes no effort. It takes an ounce of grace, an ounce of humanity. It's no effort at all. I am so sorry for his wife and his children's loss. And keep it moving. No one gives a damn about your platform on guns. No one cares whether or not you think the other side would have done. What are you, Kreskin now? If it was the other side would have. Oh, really? I guess you know. You don't. You sound as silly as these people who always argue about black people think like this. You don't know everybody. In fact, in that ignorant statement shows that you know nothing. To have the arrogance to think that you know what people would do under any circumstances. You want to do me a favor there, Kreskin? Can I have the Mega Millions number? Or the Powerball numbers? Where were you a week ago? You don't know anything. Take a seat, all of them. Take all of them. Lie down. If this had happened to anyone on your side, any one of the people that was on your side, we would all be sitting here stopping and thinking about this. Whoa, this is insane. That's exactly what we're doing. Would there be idiots? Probably. But it's not a justification. So to make that proclamation is like, well, if it was on the other side, it would have been. No, that's not an excuse. Again, 5-year-old thinking. You want an avenue? Fine, I'll give you one. Say that you're happy about it. Say that it was a good thing. Spare us all of the wrangling up the obvious. That you found something positive in the man's murder. Just have that discussion. Have the balls to say it. But trying to put everybody else on edge by saying, well, if it was the other side, they wouldn't have done this, just so you can inch your way into saying that you are happy about what happened. Because again, what was truly in your heart would have shown in your heart. You can't stop telling much. And this is the thing about the most virtuous group out there, the most virtuous and the most kind and the most loving and caring political group in the world. It is interesting that the first thing that they never go to is grace. Loving, tolerant, caring, understanding people. The first place that they go to is not grace. Prayer, kindness, condolences. Didn't even think of it. The days of calling yourself the compassionate ones is over. You were the ones who told us that thoughts and prayers meant nothing. And what are you doing today? Remember? Remember that told us that at a church where 2 children were murdered, you said thoughts and prayers were not enough. And I've been to all of your X pages and your Facebook pages, and that's all you're giving us, thoughts and prayers. Interesting. But unlike you, we are not going to be the asses that you were. We accept them. We accept your thoughts and prayers. Honest or not, we accept. A couple of years ago when I was on this program, I jokingly said this line, and I just said it yesterday when I said that Connecticut needed its new theme. But I truly do believe this about conservatives, true conservatives. We're better than you. And we know it. And while others sit around and shy away from that, I don't, because I don't have to care. We are better than you. It's because at least we've got the sense to sit back, wait a while, maybe pray, maybe gather our thoughts. You people took a victory lap. It's rather embarrassing. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep Charlie Kirk in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You, have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. If any news breaks, we'll see you here tomorrow with it. Let's get some weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, sir.
Good night, Reese. Have a good night. If you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound side of 84 delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge.
All right, good, sir.
Avenue.
All right, buddy.
If you're on the eastbound side of 84,
talk to you
just
mañana.
a little slow down as you move.
See you tomorrow.
In 44 Prospect Oakwood as you move into Hartford. Southbound 91, you got a problem between 33 and 30.
That's right. He will not be silenced. Ever. Ever. I don't even know what to do anymore, folks, but leave Don alone. He doesn't care. It's okay. He just doesn't care. As I always say when I end this show, be good to each other.